maybe rape his wife too.
We're live.
Okay, those are facts, man. I'm not.
Yeah,
I think that's fucking ridiculous.
I'm still on this side, man. You can't. You just. You have to have some type of penalty, so that's harsh, so the guys won't run the yard. The inmates will run the yard if you don't put something like kicking Draymond.
You gave the flagrant 2 and you kicked him out of that game.
Yeah.
Like that's not nothing.
It's not nothing, but he has to be smarter. The man has been like.
But there was
Sabonis
no
has been,
there was
edge
no
of the whole
sanction.
game.
There was no sanction for Sabonis.
Yeah, it was a technical foul,
He didn't get ejected.
but he got a technical foul.
But
he just
that's
held.
not
He
acceptable.
held. His
You
foot.
held a man's leg in transition.
No,
That's
no.
ridiculous.
It was
That's ridiculous.
It was a horror move. It was.
Yeah.
It was a horror.
So
move.
then, like, if you're not gonna go further with that, then leave Draymond the fuck alone.
You got to be smart if you're Draymond, man.
It is what it is, man. It's playoff basketball. Like, move on.
They're definitely gonna move on. I didn't want to see him suspended, but at the same
But that's
time,
then
I just-
why champion that cause?
because I understand. You know what I mean?
Understanding doesn't matter. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. Like, to understand something. Okay, if you do something wrong to somebody and you simply tell them, I understand I did something wrong, but you really don't, nothing changes other than you saying you understand, like, that's useless. That's absolutely useless. No, I think this is another travesty in the works, and it's just completely unacceptable. I think you just... And I don't think Zidane should have been taken out of the fucking final in 2010 or 2006 in Germany for headbutting the guy.
Oh yeah, that headbutt. They
Yeah.
talked about that today. I didn't really know too much about it.
Oh, it was fucking epic. But just, I mean, dude, let people play. Like, it's the playoffs, man.
Drop everything, yeah, left all my things when I hit the ring, can't help but think, yeah, of you, that pretty smile, your sex is now, like Vanessa Carlton, yeah, walk 1,000 miles, for you, stay chasing you, babe, everything for you. No question about it. Need me, I'll be there, no doubt about it. I say that honestly, a sense of urgency. Tender loving, yeah, you my TLC. Yeah, always thinking about you. Girl, you know I'm always thinking about you. Girl, like Mars catch grenades for you. Girl, you have no clue the stuff I would do for you. Drop everything. Yeah, left all my things when I hit the ring, can't help but think, yeah, of you, that pretty smile, your sex is now, like Vanessa Carlton, yeah, walk 1,000 miles, for you, stay chasing you, babe, everything for you.
You guys are back on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, and we have Cliff in the building, man. We always love talking to Cliff here, man. Say something again.
I said, what's going on, y'all?
Oh, we got to get his mic working.
His mic's not working.
Yeah, his mic's not working. We'll get
one of
we'll
those,
get
or-
Ann in here. Nah, I got mine turned. I got his turned up. So we'll get. Let me text Ant. But yes, of course we have a good show for you guys today. Don't forget, on the Bench Podcast, Bubba and Pink, we're available on all podcast streaming platforms, and including here on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And
Share with your friends if you have any.
you should have some.
I hope,
If not, you have a friend in
People
me.
are big on keeping the circle small. Just don't keep it too small.
That's what she said.
Then it becomes like a virgin movie hole.
Oh, here he goes. Okay. Yeah, so today we're talking about the NBA playoffs, of course, when mid-swing of the first round. And Cliff, you could just try to say something in between times. No,
Not
nothing
hearing
still.
Cliff.
And we're also talking Ralph Yarl, the 16-year-old in Kansas City, who was shot. Substitute teachers fighting with their underpants off. A lot of stuff to talk
Hold
about.
on, they
here,
would fight
man.
with no underpants?
I haven't watched it today.
Unfortunately for YouTube, I can't play the whole video, but
Oh, man.
with all that showing, but yeah, it's
That's
something.
a game changer for me.
Oh, it's
So
a game
YouTube
changer.
won't allow you to show that even on Instagram will?
I know, and news stations can show it,
Yeah.
but they do bleep it and blur it out, so it wouldn't do anything for
The
Pink.
thing, I didn't even know that part happened. I'm watching the fight and then
Yeah,
for half the video it's just like
that's the only reason. Not the only reason, but that's the why I clicked on it, because Facebook was saying how it was just a teacher with her, her ass out, her buns out, and
I
I,
just
was
thought
like,
it was
this
a fight,
might
and
be
I didn't
something I need
care.
to
Like,
see.
usually I like to watch fights, but if there's going to be fights with nudity, I'm there.
From the much older adult, so that's,
Well, yeah,
that's
yeah,
why.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not watching with R. Kelly.
No, that's for sure. That's for sure. Let's start here, especially while we're getting the third mic together. I'm gonna play
Can
a
we slide the mic between us
video
here?
clip. Yeah. In the
Moving a
meantime.
bit closer, Cliff.
That's it, man. We're all the family here.
sure.
And you know what? First, let me share this, because it's been on my mind for like 3 to 4 weeks, and I haven't said it yet, right? Because a ton of people ask, and I don't know if it happens to you, Pink, but a lot of places I go, I was up in Tallahassee, and a lot of people ask me about the show. They always ask me about, on the bench. Oh man, I love what you guys doing. Da, da, da. And they always ask me, how in the hell did you link up with Pink? I don't know if you ever have anybody to ask. I don't know.
No, nobody ever asked me that.
I'm talking every single person, every single place I go, they always ask, like how they can't fathom in their brain how I linked up
Really?
with this crazy white man.
We're-
And
I didn't know you were going to go with that.
that's what they say. This is not my word.
Oh, man.
Not my word at all.
Oh, man.
But
So what do you tell them?
what I'm going to tell them, I tell them what I'm going to tell the viewers here, really quick story. So test it.
Yo.
No,
Nothing.
still. What do you think? Okay. All right. So basically how this thing worked out was, it started out from the radio station, WPRK.
That's right.
And Juan Bernal, he was a part, and I think he still is a part, of a community sports report show, right? So they talk about a lot of community sports, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was working there at Rollins. It's a radio station that's at Rollins College. And I was working on campus. And the thing is I always felt like Juan was like saving me, because I went to school for, sports communication. I wrote for the Orlando Sentinel, did work for WTV Channel 9, Orlando Magic. But at the time, I was moving tables and chairs, so I wasn't doing any of that. So I went to school for that. So Juan would like invite me up to the radio station especially during NBA season. All right. And this particular time, I guess he invited Pink as well. So me and Pink is on that radio show.
Yeah.
We're talking about NBA. And just during the show, because I always feel like because they talk about the community sports, so it's to some that may be listening. In my mind, I'm feeling like this may be a little dry for some that's watching. Talking about Orlando City soccer.
I've never worn a waist trainer for fitness purposes, but I felt doing a community sports report that I was wearing an intellectual waist trainer. I felt like I was just like confined in this little box of sports, and I was like, God, I need to get out of here. Like, I need to be able to talk.
And Pete would make the wildest remark. I didn't know him from a can of paint before this show, which is odd because he's in the basketball circles in the city that I later found out. And I don't know him from a can of paint. And so we do this show, and he's just saying the wildest stuff. And then I just got this grand idea after the show. We're talking. I'm just like, hey man, I kind of went to school for this. If they would let us have a show, I think we could probably do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
we would never have to talk about the solar bears.
No, for sure, man. And so that's what we did, and the rest is history, man. On the Bench Podcast, Bubba and Pink.
The only other thing I want to add to that, because I know we had like a meeting with the management of WPRK at the time, and we had not done a show other than the little segments we did with Juan.
Yeah.
And the lady that we were talking to, like, just picked up within 10 minutes. It's like, you guys got like a real chemistry.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so funny, because it's like, I mean, I kind of felt it internally, but to see somebody recognize it that quickly, it was like really reaffirming.
Yeah,
And
it
it was
was.
like, damn, there must be something here.
It was. No, that's for
funny.
sure. That's for sure. It's hilarious, man. We're still working on
I'm
that
try-
third mic.
I know. I'm trying to remember some of my takes from the WPRK days.
We had some wild ones for sure. Let's get into this this
Couldn't
video
cuss back in those days, Cliff.
about the substitute teacher. All right, 1 second here. Let me click on it.
Are we just gonna rock with the two mics?
It started as an argument over a confiscated cell phone, and it quickly escalated. The scuffle ended with substitute teacher Xavier Steele and the unnamed student on the ground. Steele's hands appear to be pressing down near the student's head, and the student screams. It's not clear why Steele took the student's phone.
The cell phones is got no place in class. And then you're going to go up there and jump on a teacher or fight a teacher. That is wrong.
WRAL obtained the district's cell phone policy, which says she was within her authority to take it if the phone was visible or the student was using it. The district's assistant superintendent says the employee has the right to, quote, reasonably restrain the student if they're attacked and can defend themselves to the point that they are free of the threat or attack. Betty Atcherson is also a substitute teacher.
If you have not gone into a school recently to see how the kids act, you would just be totally surprised at the disrespect some of them can render.
Again, we're going to talk a lot of basketball on this show, but I just wanted to start with these two really hot and trending topics on social media and in the news. So yeah, so that's the latest news clipping from that substitute teacher fight with the kid here, right? And you have some of the other teachers that are talking about it, and I mean, they pretty much share that substitute teacher's pain. I mean, they probably was rooting for her. And here goes the thing. I was a substitute teacher for a couple of minutes here.
So was I.
Went through Kelly Services.
have
Shout out
that
to
in
Kelly
common,
Services. Yeah.
When I was waiting for my bar exam results, I was a substitute teacher.
Here in like Central Florida
in
area?
Bainbridge, Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bainbridge.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dominic Douglas.
Yeah.
And
That's where he's from.
yeah, that's where he's from. And this is the thing, man. I know everyone got you have your kids, and you can be watching this as a parent. You could be like, oh no, I would, whatever. I would kick this teacher's behind, and you can, or this is dead wrong, and this and that.
I can guarantee you one thing. Every parent sitting at home whose reaction, oh, somebody did that to my kid, I'd be like, your kid is a big enough asshole to deserve that ass whooping. I guarantee you.
Yeah, man.
Hands down. Because if you're somebody that looks at this and go, oh, wow, that's a little wild, your kid's probably like a normal kid, like, vaguely respectful and not going to be in that position.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it, and at first, my initial just being a parent, you're like, yo, she swung on her. But at the end, like, literally, she just sat on her and restrained her. So for me, I was like, once I seen that, because she literally didn't move at all, so I was like, okay, the intention wasn't I'm gonna keep fighting with it. Like when she got her down, if she kept beating on her, to me that would have been a problem. But she restrained her, and then it kept going. The initial thing, I think initially, especially now, when the kid swung on her, instinctually, she's probably like, I gotta fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then it got to a point of where she understood, okay, I've overpowered her. She can't move. I'm going to hold her, get a teacher, so-and-so.
Right.
Initially, I was like, yo. But then sitting back thinking, I'm like, Nah, the kid shouldn't have swung anyway. Like
it looks way worse than it actually was.
Yeah.
Because number one, first of all, the student shouldn't have walked all the way up
over
in
there.
the teacher's space like that.
Yeah.
And then you're being aggressive trying to get the phone back. And if for those who actually was able to hear the news clipping and what they were saying, like the teacher was right in every clause. Like and according to that school and the rule book, they have every right to take a phone that is visible. Not that the person is just the student doesn't have to be on the phone, or whatever. It could just be visible on the table or whatever. The teacher has every right to take that phone according to that school's rules, and all of that good stuff. And also, it also has in the rule book, a teacher has the right to defend themselves,
Right.
And all that. So when you look at it from that standpoint,
And paragraph 2 has no obligation to wear drawers.
but that's
also
that's the only thing I have. Why is this lady going up in that school with a skirt on with a thong on? Why are you going to work like that?
I'm all for it.
I mean, but
Hey, why not?
but you got little boys in school like me. I'm living for that skirt to come
my
up.
God.
And finally it happened. I didn't want it to happen under these terms.
Gave the people what they wanted.
the other thing too was the teacher told her like, "Don't touch me," like
Yeah.
before she did anything.
Before she-
and then the girl like did the wildest swings. It's
No,
like,
I'm a big Law of the Jungle guy, and like this is the thing: whether you're a kid swinging on an adult, or you're a woman swinging on a man, when you swing and you swing first, you accept the consequences.
Right.
And I don't have a problem with that. Now, there is an issue like once a person gets the upper hand and gets control of the situation in a physical standpoint, are you just going to like literally just beat the shit out of the person
Yeah.
or not? Now, I do have an issue if, you're able to quickly get a hold of the situation and get somebody into a restraint sort of situation. That's cool. You don't need to pound their head into the floor and crack a skull. But if you swing on somebody, they have an absolute right to self-defense. And that may include swinging back.
They just do, and what a grand age to learn at a young age. That this, you know what I mean. You get what you're asking for, so the student went on their IG live, not IG live, but IG stories, and basically she was mad at her classmates, right?
For not having her back?
Yeah, she says the fact that nobody helped me is crazy. People just stood there and let that woman manhandle me. Y'all supposed to be my friends, and barely anybody asked if I was okay. Y'all laughing at this BS, and it's not funny. But if anybody got something to say, you can see me in the yard. Again, aggressive talking.
Exactly.
How many butt
she
whippings do
says
you
that?
want? Yeah. She says that.
Well, I would say this. I would say any boy in that classroom and any aspiring lesbian was captivated by the booty. And so I'm not going to help you. I'm just going to watch the show. We don't need
I don't
to
know
do
why
it
you
deals.
even say that after like
You know what I mean? It's like
those are the people like it's like you're asking for it.
Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
Yes.
This person.
What do you
And
want
any-
another kid? So here's the thing. All right, because I did mentoring programs in high schools with like at-risk youth,
Okay.
and like we dealt with some very violent, some very like. But the thing that we always establish, and I tell people to this day when I worked in those programs, I'm talking about people that they stab kids, they have no problem running down on you, whatever. Never once. The only type of disrespect may ever have been of like, if I say something, they may say something back, but never once did they ever put themselves in a predicament where they would try to fight me or want that type of altercation. It was like, to me, like one of those things, seeing this type of situation, I'm like, what do you want to get out of this? Like, you got beat up by your substitute teacher. Now,
Not even
I
the regular
know,
teacher.
I don't know, where was this again?
That's
This
a
was
good
in-
question. I forgot now.
Okay, so basically I know like certain schools, like they was in Baltimore, the kids probably would have jumped the teacher, regardless. Like I know how it get down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We were waiting for this moment.
Yeah. Female, male, it don't matter. Like, but it's like you gotta understand, like most normal kids are gonna see the situation and either do one of two things: watch or try to break it up. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not about to like beat on the teacher. Like, unless you're in the hood somewhere and they've been waiting all day long for one. It's like in prison. Like when the CO finally, they like, oh, once the CO does it, we all gonna get him. Like the class is like waiting. Oh,
Somebody light the match.
Yeah, she did it now. Let's go. But I mean, I don't know what you're asking for. Like, you just got beat up by the teacher. Now you're telling people to see you in the yards. Like, I would kind of just not want to see nobody.
I want to see the comments. Like,
Yeah.
you're already 0-1.
Crazy.
You're already 0-1. It's not a good start.
That's
to
not
your,
a good
your
look.
Fighting
I
career.
just would have left the situation alone.
She loses any sympathy.
Yeah.
Like with this,
That type of thing.
Yeah.
If you want the sympathy route, I'd be like, why'd you let the teacher beat on me?
Yeah,
In the story.
in the
like,
story.
not
Not say
threatening
anything
nobody,
at all.
Like,
Maybe
I'm
just show pictures of your
traumatized,
bruises.
so-and-so, whatever. Like, take that route. Take the...
Yeah. Nah,
But to
that's
threaten
crazy.
everybody after you just got beat up is like, that's wild to me.
That's wild.
And then your classmates, like, at that.
Yeah.
Next day they're going to be in with the substitute waiting, like, yeah, we here.
Now she got to change schools because I can
Yeah.
only imagine the jokes.
Yeah,
the jokes are
nah.
just going to be overwhelming.
That's going to be bad.
She just needs to give up on school and head to the streets.
Start street fighting training.
No, I start sucking dick.
Oh, Lord! Oh, let's move on.
No, because you got no future that don't involve her.
Come on, man. Let's move on.
I mean, she's
come
obviously
on.
a bad.
That's
She's
insane.
obviously a bad fighter.
my
I mean, that's not the pathway forward. You got one asset, girl.
This guy's sick,
Oh,
man.
my God.
Okay,
I'm
listen.
not saying I'm gonna be a
I
customer.
know. I understand what
Let's
you're
get
saying.
that straight.
I understand what you're saying.
Oh, my Lord.
But I'm big on writing people off.
No, it's right
That's
on.
kind of my thing.
Yeah. I mean, she's young. She gets one redemption.
No.
Do we know how old the girl
She-
is? Did they say, like, her actual age?
No, but I'm guessing that I'm hoping this is high school at least. So
I mean, that's a
middle
whole
school.
nother thing, too. Like,
yeah.
like, if she was, like, a 6th grader, I mean, that is kind of bad.
It says it's Rocky Mount, North Carolina, so I got that.
Rocky Mountain.
This is going to be a rocky week.
I hope that teacher doesn't lose her career over this because it did look bad at first.
Hey, keep wearing them thongs, you get another career.
But yeah, that's.
Tell me she can't
move on,
with
man.
this fight in her record, and she could kill it on OnlyFans.
Oh, my Lord.
I think so.
I'm the booty teacher that whoops ass.
That's a nice angle.
Yeah,
I might
I should
reach
be
out to be her
manager.
angel.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
we'll split it. We'll split it. We'll split it.
I was trying to find out what grade this is, but okay, maybe somebody comment for us. So yes, that's the substitute teacher trainer story, right? So next, I wanted to go.
Said she lost because she had Crocs on.
Dude, if you have
She was wearing
Crocs,
them black Air Forces. You know what it is.
if you wear Crocs, you deserve to lose at everything. Like for real.
No.
If you go anywhere in Crocs where there's the possibility of some action going down,
Yeah.
you deserve to lose.
Next, I wanted to talk about this 16-year-old Ralph who was shot in Kansas City. All right, so let me play that video really quick here.
We want to bring you an update after a shooting of a 16-year-old teenager from Kansas City, Missouri. For the first time, we're seeing a photo of the elderly white man who shot that black teenager at his front door in Kansas City, Missouri. You're looking at it here. This is the mugshot of Andrew Lester when he was booked in by Kansas City police on April 13th. He's been charged with 2 felony counts, armed criminal action and assault with a deadly weapon. The Clay County prosecutor, Zachary Thompson, said the 85-year-old opened fire on 16-year-old Ralph Yarl. Yarl was supposed to pick up his 2 younger brothers, but went to the wrong house by accident. The teen is recovering at home after being released from the hospital yesterday on Sunday. Thompson also said the case has a racial component, but did not elaborate with those specific details. Authorities say Lester came to the door and shot Yarl in the head and then shot him again. They say no words were exchanged before the shooting.
Pink, what did you
If you were gonna
Reaction.
cast a angry, delusional white man, that guy would be the guy you'd send out there. Like he just looks the part of like a racist idiot, and the racial component 100%. and I think he should be executed without trial. Like
Yeah.
what? I mean, I know we're gonna go through this charade of like a trial where he's gonna say I'm this old senile guy and I'm afraid and some stranger came to my door. You know, come on, dude.
But my thing, like,
If
so
that's
this
a
is my
white
thing,
kid,
right?
this doesn't happen.
My thing in all of this type of stuff. So if you have a gun and you know you're going to the door, you already seen the person at the door. So you went to the door with the intention with your gun to do something. At that point, before I ever even opened the door, if I'm his age, I have a gun. Who are you? What are you doing here? Like, that's a simple question behind the door.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you've seen him. So, like, these types of things infuriate me because it's like, you went to the door with the intention to shoot him before anything was ever said. You didn't ask him nothing, didn't say nothing. You went there to kill, and then you shot him again after you shot him in the head.
face. Yeah. That's
crazy to me.
That's the craziest part.
Because my thing is, so did he shoot him while he was on the ground? Is that what it said? So
Yes.
he hit the ground and then you shot him
Stood
again.
over
So
him,
you were
shot him.
intending to kill him.
It's the exact opposite of what we just talked about. Like the teacher gets the student, attacks, gets them to a position of control, and then stops the aggression. And here you have this guy with no words, shoots a guy in the head, and then shoots him when he's on the ground. This should be execution without trial. This is ridiculous. Give him the same energy that he gave the kid.
Because this may sound bad. If he shoots him once, runs in, calls the police, hey, I shot this person, I don't know what he's doing at my door, yada, 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 yada. I'm not saying I have sympathy.
Right,
but I am saying
that's a different
that
story.
makes more sense than, yo, I just shot him in the head. Then while he's on the ground, after shooting him in the head, I'm going to shoot him again. So my thing was, what happened after you shot him twice? You just walked back in your house and then called the police? Like,
Yeah.
I would have, before I even answered the door, gun in hand, hey, police.
Yeah.
I got somebody at the door. I got my gun in my hand. I'm letting you know this type of deal. You know what I'm saying? We just had, me and my wife, no lie. So the other day we're at our house, and I'm not trying to get off topic, but these ladies approached our house walking behind our yard. We're intending to walk behind our yard. My wife pulls in the driveway. Hey, what are you doing? She goes, I don't speak much English.
Say it like that.
Yeah, like I don't speak much
in
English.
good
Yeah.
English.
And then so my wife goes, what are you doing? This house is for rent, right? My wife is like, no. She's like, it's up for rent. It's up for rent. My wife goes, so what are you doing here? It's not up. I don't speak much English. Starts walking back to her car. There's another girl on the phone the whole entire time. I told my wife, like, yo, she was going to walk to our backyard, not to our front door. Like, that is a different scenario. I'm not saying like we would have shot her, but I told my wife, if I would have seen her with my kids in my backyard, I'm going to ask her, what are you doing? Call. If you do not leave, then I am physically going to be choose to have to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't understand. To me, there's no way you can explain this to me as self-defense.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Or scared. Because after you shot him once, all your scared should have left. Like, he's down on the ground. He's probably going to die at that point.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
And this goes, and again, I 100% believe that this is like a racist dude who overreacts to the presence of a black person on their property. And it ends this way. This also goes to one of my other recurring things. Why does this incompetent person have a firearm?
Why? Like, why
He's
does
not-
this
I
old
think
man...
the charges they're saying are he doesn't legally have a firearm. He's not legally allowed to have a firearm.
Okay.
Which
if you run it back, I believe that's what she said one of the charges
I hope
were.
that's the
Okay.
case because he should not.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. And here's the other thing, man. If you are that incompetent, that fearful to exist in your own space,
You shouldn't have one anyway.
I'm not talking about a gun. I'm just talking about living in space. Get in a retirement home. If you can't live independently, where a teenager knocking on the door politely is a trigger for you, you don't belong living on your own.
Yeah.
You don't. Quite frankly, I'll be honest, you don't deserve to live.
Through a
Like, you're
glass
not
door,
serving
so
any
you've seen
purpose.
it. So I'm sorry, it's a glass door, so you can even see, talk, and everything before you open your door.
Yeah. But no words were spoken.
Yeah,
That's terrible, man.
That's sickening to me.
It is.
absolutely sickening.
All right.
And you can see he's a kid. Like, it's not even
That's what I
like
was saying
Pink
before.
said, yeah.
it's
I
not
said
like he's
before-
some big overgrown person at your door. Like, looking at him, I can see that's a kid. He's
Yeah.
skinny. He's little. It's not like he look like, okay, you could do the whole, he's a big 6'4" kid.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more scary. Not, you know what I mean, if you want to give it that. But that is a kid. Like,
Yeah.
I walk to my door, I see him. Yo, what are you doing here, bro?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
Like,
Selling some cookies. What's
Yeah,
he
yeah,
doing?
yeah,
You know what I
100%.
mean?
I'm picking up my brother. Your brothers ain't here, my brother. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
You don't want
that's
them
just
to be-
I'm just glad he's alive because
No,
hopefully,
1000%, man.
like,
Yeah.
hopefully we get to kind of hear from him. Like, hopefully he's stable enough after everything. They said he's home, but like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing to hear from him, but you know, I would definitely love his
Yeah.
take on it or
Yeah.
whatever. Hopefully, he gets his moment in the sun. He gets to go on all the talk shows. and,
Yeah.
they give him a bunch of stuff. and
yeah,
everything.
that's what I'm hoping for him, man.
The obligatory GoFundMe.
That's
You know, they already started a GoFundMe for the family.
I'm sure that's the move. It just no matter what the situation is, start a GoFundMe.
It is.
That's another thing I don't like. For them.
yeah, please. That's
Like
that's
it's
one of
not
my
everything
pet
is solved
peeves.
with money. Like
It's not.
I just got shot in the goddamn head.
Well, I mean, I guess
Money will help him because he's alive.
that, and what if he doesn't have insurance?
Yeah.
You know,
That's another issue. We need
hospital
freaking
bills.
single payer health insurance.
Or
for
take
everyone.
take the old man's money, take him for everything he got. That's something you could do.
Just kill him.
Oh no,
and
they're
give the
gonna
kid
do
the
that. That's
house.
gonna be a civil suit, but
Yeah,
that'll take
yeah.
a while.
Yeah,
But there's probably not going to be any insurance coverage for that.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, if that dude's rich, he's about to lose all his money.
I
Even
doubt
if he
it.
doesn't go to jail.
I doubt he's rich though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not a rich person's move.
No.
Shit.
A rich person's move would have been he got down the street and called the police and told him he had a bag of dope on him. All right, you guys are on the bench
Lord.
podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and
No,
mayhem.
a rich guy would have had a caretaker too.
Probably
Yeah,
would have had
yeah.
security. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, security for sure.
Rich
Security
guy
for
would have
sure.
had like some hot Colombian nurse. Maybe that's what happened to your girl, Bubba.
She became a nurse.
For some old white dude.
I want to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors here.
Oh, I'm wearing it.
Royal13thebrand.com. Yes, Pink is wearing it. Shout out to Royal13thebrand.com. And I got True here. If you use promo code Bubba Pink, you could be fresh in the spring, heading into the summer. Alrighty. These are some new picks here from some of the items he has on his website here. Use promo code Bubba Pink, and you could be fresh at a discount. All right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk some NBA, man.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk some NBA. First thing I wanted to ask you guys, when you're looking at all these different series, right? What's the worst one?
Worst series?
What's the worst series?
Boston, Atlanta.
Boston, Atlanta, you think so?
Boston just wiping their floor with them.
Yeah.
It's not a series. Like, it's not competitive. Boston's a way better team.
Yeah.
The Hawks are trash. And it's not,
I was gonna
not
say
entertaining.
I'm a Boston fan, but watching the game is funny because they kind of let them come back in the game. It's like they're playing with them, and then all suddenly it's like they get close to like 11-0 run, 12-0 run.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, it's just to show you guys can't really.
No, and
Slap 'em-
I'm
slap 'em
purely
around.
I'm purely answering that question from the perspective of like neutral observer watching a series. I just
Yeah.
don't find it a competitive series. I think the Celtics are that much better than the Hawks, and it's
Yeah.
just going to be, cruise control.
For me, it's the Nuggets Timberwolves.
Well, I was about to say they
That's
wiped
the series that
floor.
nobody cares about.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess that's why that is for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I'm not going to watch a game out of that series. I watched the first Boston Atlanta game at least. Minnesota Denver. I didn't even want to watch the first.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the game yet, and I'm not going to.
I watched a chunk of the first half, but those later tip-offs are like tough.
They're tough anyway.
Yeah, they're
right?
tough.
So
They're tough.
yeah. But okay, let's open up talking about some of these injuries and the impact of them. So of course we know Giannis is out for this next game.
So he's not playing tonight.
Right, he's not playing tonight. We know that Tyler Hero is out probably for the remainder of the playoffs if they were
It don't
to.
matter.
they
He ain't
said his-
playing.
his-
He's gonna go
Yeah.
home before.
Yeah, they'll go home before he's available, but they said his best case scenario would be to return by the finals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who else we got? We also have
John Morant.
John Morant. He's out
out tonight. apparently.
today. Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
They're playing right now, and actually Memphis is up. Memphis is up by like 16, whatever
Wow.
it is. Over the Lakers, yeah, without
Damn.
Ja. But I mean, that didn't come as a surprise to me. I would hate for the bettors that went in and slammed the Lakers as soon as the Ja Morant news come out. And the Memphis plays very well without Ja.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's-
like Ja is a really good player,
Ball
but
moves
for
more.
some reason they play just as well
Ball
without
moves
him.
better.
Yeah.
The ball moves better, and everybody feels like they're. I mean, like we've all been there. Like you're playing, and there's some guy who's really good, and you just know he has the license to kind of just do extra stuff, and you end up standing around a lot.
Yeah.
And then there's other times when it's just more balanced, and everybody feels that much more engaged. So it's like I know I'm gonna get more touches. I know I'm gonna get touches I want. If we're gonna get what we want, we got to move more and play together better.
You know, a good thing about Trae Young is he doesn't miss many games. A bad thing is for Atlanta, I would really want to see what they would look like without him for a chunk of games.
I was just about to say,
you know,
point.
as a Boston fan playing Atlanta, I think they'd be better suited if he doesn't play at times. I mean, when Trae is hot, that's when you have to worry. But
it's rare that he is hot, man.
I was just about to say, listening today, I was listening to stats. Playoffs, he has like the worst plus minus, the worst shooting percentage.
Yeah, he's
of anybody in the playoffs, like anybody.
Yeah, I think right now something crazy, something bad. He has he's shot like 28% threes since last like 10 playoffs. Something wild. Like all his stats, his like plus minus, he's like minus 92.
They plummet in the playoffs.
It's just awful. And you watch him, it's like he feels like he has to take. Like watching a game, like DeJounte Murray. Last game, he started kind of taking more of the aggressive thing where he wasn't letting the ball get so much to Trae Young, but they're going to make sure Trae Young gets the ball. And this is the whole thing with, what's his name, that left, and they were talking about, even with John Collins, is like, Trae Young has the ball so much, but what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
So what injury you think is going to have the biggest impact here?
Giannis, if he can.
Yeah. Because they got blasted in game 1 at home. If they lose again, this becomes like a series, and it was never supposed to be a series.
Yeah.
Miami did not play well in the play-in games. They lost the first one. They kind of struggled to get that second one, and
Butler played out his mind in the.
No, Jimmy
Bucks
did his
game,
thing, but
if he doesn't, I think if they're Butler, this is the thing with Miami, they go as Butler's gonna go, and they need to play perfect to beat the Bucks, even without Young. You know what I mean? Like Butler's gonna have to do that every single night, and he's capable of that. But that's a lot.
No, I agree with you, but it's just if things don't go well for the Bucks tonight, you've really created a series out of something that was never supposed
to be a 4-game.
4 or 5 games and move on and get ready. And now you're in you could be in a war if you don't win tonight. Now if they win tonight. Giannis back game 3, it's all a bump in the road, I think. And the Heat aren't that deep and they aren't that good and they will be missing Hero. But you create trouble for yourself.
I'm not a big Hero fan anyway, though.
He's not developed.
But he serves a purpose.
He does. He just hasn't developed.
So this is what I'm going to say.
That.
Because everyone, like Heat fans, they always talk about Hero. The only playoffs Hero was ever good in was the bubble. Since the bubble, he's been garbage in the playoffs. He plays awful. His numbers are down. He shoots worse percentage-wise. His points are down. All of his numbers come down in the playoffs. And now the bubble year, he went crazy. I'm part of the people that think the bubble year was meant for the people who, like, it's not the limelight. Like, I have a friend who argues with me all the time, says that's the hardest for them to win. I'm like, they're not playing in front of nobody. It's like,
you can make an argument both ways.
Yeah.
I take it for what it is because everybody's playing in the same environment.
Situation.
But Hero, I don't want to hold him to the same because he's not in that class of Trae Young of this and that. So he's just not. He's not asked to do as much as those guys. Like I know his percentages go down. The truth about it is most players' percentages go down in the playoffs. Defense is tighter. Is schemes. You playing the same team every night. They're knowing where you're at. They know your plays. But as far as the injury that I think is the most or whatever, I do think it's Hero, man. Number one, because he's out longer. The Heat are not as deep as he just said. And he's the only other player on that team outside of Jimmy that can get his own shot. Outside of that, everybody gets their shots in the floor of the offense, like run out of bounds plays, et cetera, et cetera. I was hoping Bam would be better at this point of his career offensively. But he's just not.
Well, yeah, I mean, my thing with the Heat, it's pretty simple. It's like, and I think the bubble, everybody played the same. I don't put too much into that. But coming out of that finals appearance, Hero and Bam look to be rising players.
Yeah.
And to be honest, neither one of those guys has really developed significantly from then.
Yeah.
And that's why the Heat haven't built on that bubble success. They've just kind of plateaued. We know Jimmy shows up in the playoffs and gives you everything. But those other two guys, even when healthy, haven't gotten to that next level where they really balance that team out. And because of that, it's a slightly under-talented, thin roster that's not built to win playoff series.
Yeah.
And you're 100% right. If we're looking at team impact, duration of injury, and fragility of the roster, the Hero thing is probably the biggest because he's out and they just don't have
and
a
I
like
think what
for
he
like
averaged
option.
like 24 in a year or something like that. So
Yeah.
So you got that. Now the best series so far.
Easily Golden State and the Kings.
Easily.
you think over the Clippers and Suns?
Yeah.
'Cause I think
Just
that's a good
aesthetic.
Now, are you saying like
aesthetically-
as far as entertaining, as far as
I'm talking watching the games aesthetically.
I think watching the game.
it's
I'd rather
su-
that
super
series is just
compelling.
entertaining
Yeah,
all the way around.
super compelling. And I mean, I would rather watch a toilet flush than watch Kawhi play. I just don't like it. I'm just not a fan of bullying guys down and elite footwork. It's not my thing.
He's not good, and for several reasons. He's not good for NBA as far as
he doesn't care
that's in the
about
game.
the flash.
But he has been the best player in the playoffs so far. I mean, he just has been.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's the thing I was going to bring up later. But we'll get to that later. But best series so far, you said Sacramento, Golden State.
Yeah.
And I say Clippers Suns. I do say Clippers Suns. Where you at? And I'm talking
like
about
toss-up.
overall.
If we're talking about like entertainment value, as far as
all
like what
of
I'm
it.
gonna watch,
All of it mixed in
I'm probably
together.
gonna say Sacramento because that, like wanting to watch it is more entertaining to me.
Yeah.
I think the Clippers Sun is going to be a real battle. I think that's going to be the biggest battle of it's going to be 6 or 7 for sure.
Yeah. Which is
If the Lakers win tonight, I think the Grizzlies are done.
it's hard to think about that for me for Clippers Suns because I do think the Suns is going to win for sure, and you'll always have
Hard
that.
to think about what you don't see it going 7.
Yeah, I don't see it going 7, and you'll always be thinking, damn, what if they had Paul George? You know,
Now,
what
have
if
they
they
wait?
had Paul
I thought
George?
they didn't.
He's out for first round for sure.
They said
Is
that
what you're
already.
asking? Yeah,
They
yeah,
clear-
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
because
yeah.
I know initially they were saying he may come back.
No, he's going to miss first round for sure.
Okay.
And you'll just always be thinking, damn, what if they had Paul George? 'Cause
Yeah.
they are going to
And that's
fight.
always the Clippers for you.
But
it sucks,
it's always something,
It's always
man.
somebody's
Yeah.
injured.
It's always something. But man, I said on Facebook, this Kawhi KD matchup, that's the rivalry one-on-one
Yeah.
thing that this era has missed.
Yeah.
I mean, they try to pair everyone against LeBron, but it's, you know, whether you like or hate LeBron, he's just on a shelf above those guys, and we needed more of this, you know,
Yeah.
Well,
KD, Kawhi,
it is-
and other matchups.
It is a super intriguing matchup because they really present interesting challenges for each other. I mean,
Yeah.
KD is a light, fluid guy, a rhythm player, and then Kawhi is just so strong and powerful and has enough size, even like length, to affect KD if anybody can. And it just presents like a really compelling matchup. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Just 1v1, there's not a better one just sitting there right in front of us than that.
Yeah.
You know,
I do like the Fox and Curry and that
Yeah.
that whole thing. It's going to be. That's going to be a really good series.
The other thing of all, here's another thing with De'Aaron Fox. Is there another player in the league that has actually cut his hair?
What you mean? That happens
He
that-
used to have like the hair, like
Yeah,
out,
that
and
happens
he's
a
cut
lot.
it down. Who?
Oh,
That
yeah.
wasn't going bald.
Embiid is one.
He's cut his hair down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Embiid,
he had
Embiid
the
done
whole-
that. He
Not
has
to the
braids,
low
he
cut.
has- not to like a low cut. No.
No, I mean I just think Fox is kind of
He'll do
against
like
the
a mini
trend.
fro.
There. More guys are
Um,
growing hair out and doing different things.
That's fair. I would have to really think about it, but I guess.
I mean, nobody else comes to mind.
That's cool. That's a fair assessment there. I guess. But first of all, Mike Brown, Sacramento coach, he won Coach of the Year this year.
Yeah.
And I always thought he was a jackass.
Yeah.
And I got to give credit where it's due. I think he's done a great job, and he's struck the right notes, and he's been just the right leader for that group.
I read some notes on Brown today, and I liked him just much more after that, because a couple of things about Brown is, first of all, he's been fired 3 times in the NBA.
Yeah.
All right. After the 3rd time he got fired, he took the least offer on the table that he had to be an assistant coach with Golden State. They offered him it was criminal severely less amount of money than that he took with Golden State versus any other team that tried to get him as an assistant. And but he knew in the moment that was his best opportunity to get in and become a part of a really good organization. That way he could spend that off into another opportunity.
And that's a lesson to people.
And then he learned the Steve Kerr system. And
he attributed basically where he is from that time in Golden State and sitting under.
Because
he didn't chase the bag.
Amen. Now, Mike Brown, as like Cavaliers coach and whatever, did nothing.
Yeah.
Like
He was LeBron coaching the whole
Well,
time.
no, but what I'm saying is, like, he was just 1-4 low, let LeBron do whatever. He never offered like a wrinkle or anything, and he did the absolute right thing. And I want people to pay attention to this. Like, environment and culture are critical, and you put yourself in the right environment and culture, you're gonna learn the right stuff. And he's a completely different coach than he was earlier in his career because he's been around that Warriors group, and he's had the mental capacity, the emotional capacity to learn.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know exactly how old Mike Brown is. He's probably close to my age, maybe within a few years. And a lot of older people don't learn. They think they got the answers.
Stuck in their ways, yeah.
And for him to really reinvent himself and come back as a coach that runs just a beautifully fluid offensive system, and it's not what the Warriors did exactly.
No.
There are some parallels.
There's wrinkles,
So it's not like he just lifted the playbook and whatever.
Right.
But what I think he learned with the Warriors is how to think and how to see things and put things together in a way that maximizes your players. And there's not a more deserving guy this year as coach of the year. And you could probably go 5, 6, 7 years back and be hard to find a guy more deserving of that award.
No,
and
that's for
I've
sure.
been a guy that has just not liked him at all.
Yeah.
But I have to respect
Well,
what he's
I
done.
think also what's big is he went into an environment where their culture and whatever was happening there wasn't good.
It was awful.
And
It
it
was
changed
god-awful.
and redid like everything. So that's the other huge component to it.
Yeah.
It was like it wasn't like he went from a successful situation into another successful.
yeah.
He went into a dump fire and turned that thing completely around, and now look at them. Their future looks so bright.
Sacramento was one of the worst ran franchises in the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, it's parallel to the Orlando Magic.
I don't know the answer to this question, but if you guys do, like, is he also like have a strong hand in personnel moves?
He has
or
he
is there,
has a hand, but
Who
their
is the
their
GM then?
their GM is
Didn't
they moved
just
on
get
from
new-
Vlade a couple
yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but there's somebody post Vlade in there now.
Yeah.
But Brown has a good level of input.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
I
so-
thought when they got Sabonis last year, that was huge for them.
Oh,
I knew
100%.
that was going to be good for them.
Yeah.
So it's some guy named Monte McClair. Yeah.
But that's fantastic, though. I mean, I still want them to lose this series to the Warriors, but very happy for what they've done.
That's the thing with it's.
And
They-
a shout
they
out
have a
to
good scheme, a
one
good
more thing.
plan.
I got to shout out Luke Laux, FSU guy, Pedro's Posse veteran. He's an assistant coach on that staff.
On Sacramento?
Yeah.
Oh man, shout out
that's
to
dope.
the crew, man. Shout out to the crew. We talked about it after game 1, before game 2 of Sacramento Golden State, and I was like, hey, Golden State really needs to win this game. Now you look at it at 9:02, it's not over, but it's the point of they have been such a terrible road team
Yep.
all year. And to go down, to lose your first 2 games on the road, that means something.
Yeah.
It's not just nothing, And I know they're going home, and they're one of the best home teams in the league, right? The top 3, I think they're the second or first best home team. But guess what? Sacramento is the best road team in the league, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
So I don't know where the series goes, and I don't know how much of that can influence the
Golden State
playoffs.
has to
but
win both these games.
they just have to.
Yeah, and this is a little bit what we talked about with Milwaukee and the Heat. Like the Warriors have made this a problem.
Yeah.
And again, you're the 6th seed and they're the 3rd seed, so it's there's some logic that says maybe they should win. But the Warriors are the defending champions. They have the great pedigree, and I'm sure they went into it thinking they're the better team and should win. But they have made this a major problem.
And Green's out the next game.
Yeah,
I
want to address that later.
We're going to spin this right into that, right?
But again, and I think this is bigger than basketball. But I think you can't be like controlled by like your fears and insecurities, and this losing on the road, it's probably gotten in their head. And the best possible scenario would be to snatch one of these 2 road games and kind of get that, a catharsis, get that out of your head. The longer you keep struggling on the road, the deeper and more embedded that becomes psychologically.
Yeah.
There's still a school of thought that like, okay, Warriors win the 3 home games, Suns or Kings win the 3, and it's like, well, we're still the Warriors. We'll roll the dice at a game 7 and see if these guys, buttholes get tight and they choke. That can happen, and you have faith in that. But there's no better way to just get rid of this crap.
1-1-1.
It is, but I'm just saying if they got to it got to 3-3, the Warriors
that's what you were saying.
They would
Sorry,
psychologically probably still like their chances because we're the defending champs.
No, that's for sure.
But you create these problems, and the other narrative is this group has never gone 0-2 in a series. So they've got that out there, and see like
then you don't want to be playing like that's the thing. Like I think about the Bucks and even like my Celtics. I'm like, let's get this. Sweep them. Let's get the rest. They don't need to be playing 7 games, multiple rounds.
Right.
Because they got players on their team that get hurt. Yeah. And it's like all you need is one extra game that you didn't need.
Yeah.
Then somebody gets hurt and then it's
when you're a good team, the playoffs are all about just not creating problems for yourself.
Yeah.
Just take care of the business. You get a team down 3-0, don't give them the game. Just close the thing out. And again, don't put yourself, because playoff narratives change every single game. Yeah. Warriors right now, it's bleak. We're down 0-2. We have no Draymond in game 3. We can't win on the road. And if this gets to game 7, the game's going to be on the road. There's a lot of that negativity, and it's just going to be festering around them. Now, collectively, individually, do you have the mental strength to cast that aside and embrace the challenge? Some competitors do, and maybe they're one of them. But don't create problems for yourself early in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just not worth it.
And Wiggins, he looked solid in that first game, but the game 2, he just looked off. He looked off, and
I thought
that's going to happen, I guess.
I thought he was okay in game 2. I really think they collectively let the officiating get too much in their head. Not just Draymond. I just think
how do y'all feel about Jordan Poole?
He's in the same category, probably a little less now than Hero and those guys. He serves a purpose, but Hero. I'm sorry, but Jordan Poole, he hasn't been playing well at all either, and he's a one-way player.
I don't like him.
He's an offensive type player.
I felt like he got that kind of streak where he went hot for games, and everybody was like Jordan Poole, but I feel like time he more hurts them. He just shoots erratic shots.
I thought in game 2 he hurt them a lot. Yeah. He forced way too many bad situations.
He shoots crazy, awful shots.
Yeah.
Now, when he's making them, it's cool. But when he's missing them, it's like he don't even care. He go right back.
But he's a lot like the thing we talked about with Tyler Hero, though. There was no development.
Yeah.
He got a big check, but he does nothing better now than he did last year. He's a talented, streaky offensive weapon.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, exact player profile is Malik Monk. But he's been hot in both games.
But it's his time.
But he's been hot in both games.
Yeah.
He can completely go in the tank.
He can.
But they've gotten huge games out of him.
Malik Monk takes every time I watch the Warriors, I'm like, yo, I know Kerr's got to say something to Jordan Poole about his shot selection.
Yeah.
I don't think Malik Monk takes that type of shot selection.
No, I agree with you completely. Yeah. I was not making a comparison in shot selection.
Yeah.
I was making comparison in really kind of one-dimensional
for
scorers
sure.
that don't do a lot. Now, when they're on, and he's been on for 2 games, you could argue, as good as Fox has been and whatever, if Malik Monk doesn't do what he's done, they don't win either one of those games.
The first game he had, 30?
32,
and Monk had a good season last year with the Lakers. He
was good season, but not. He's rising to this moment. I'm not saying he's going to be an all-star here on out.
What did he average on the year? Do you know?
Not offhand, no.
Yeah.
We could look that up. But But yeah, Jordan Poole. I mean, and here goes the thing too. I mean, because early on they're saying making comparisons, baby Steph and things like that. But the thing about Steph is, man, Steph really improved his game on like a yearly basis. Yeah. Even in game 2, I mean, you're looking at him. He's having an off night. But then he goes like 5-6 straight possessions where he's just taking it to the cup, and his finishing ability is great.
He's been unbelievable, and I mean for a couple of years, like when they guard him on the perimeter well, his ability to get to the rack all the way to the rack and finish consistently is ridiculous.
Yeah,
like truly.
He's definitely one of those. Him and Kyrie are in that space of like finishing around the rim,
and like I mean, like he's not as like creative or varied as Kyrie, but the efficiency of it is
crazy.
Deadly.
Yeah,
I mean, just
and he
deadly.
does some wilds.
Yeah,
it's just wild. I mean,
but I thought another issue, like just from the Warriors' perspective, is they got stuck with everything so high, and they didn't have space to run off of things, and whether it's like maybe some more backdoor action or just like spreading people closer to the baseline, they've got to change the spacing dynamics to get Steph and Clay what they want.
Well, last year they did that well with Peyton Jr. They would run him backdoor a lot.
And he's done that a few times in the series. Yeah. I just felt like, particularly in the fourth quarter, when the separation really occurred, there were so many Warriors possessions that just were like super congested, like above the foul line, and there was just nothing drawing defense out of that space, and it just became really hard to get quality shots.
All right, now let's argue about this Draymond Green suspension.
There's no argument. It's an injustice. This is grown man stuff. This is, the playoffs. You don't suspend guys. I mean, you just don't. Like, it does not serve a purpose. These are grown men. You're not teaching grown men lessons or any of that. That's when you're in school.
But that's what suspensions are for. So are you lobbying to take suspensions out of the game? Because you have to suspend folks.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see a point in suspension.
So you don't think so here's my thing. Do I think it's as bad as whatever? No. And then they said he had like a chest contusion. I watched how I'm like, bro, you got a chest contusion.
Okay, we talked about this earlier with the teacher, with whatever.
Yeah.
He grabbed his foot.
For sure.
If you grab that foot, that's not a basketball play, and you deserve what comes next. I have no issue with that. None at all. Dude, you don't understand.
So
you don't understand.
If this was probably anybody else,
when somebody
they
does
probably
something,
wouldn't get suspended.
When somebody does something unsporting like that, like I want them to die. Like that is okay with me. Like that's it. Like I love to play.
The history of Draymond is why they suspended him.
Yeah, exactly. Which is stupid.
It's not stupid. You can't just let this man run amok every time the playoffs come around and kicking people in the nuts and pushing people over and stumping people's chests. Yeah. Every playoff run he's running amok. You can't have that.
Yeah, you can.
There has to be some level.
Why can't
because the game has changed. They don't.
No.
It's not even that the game has changed.
Why can't you?
Because this is we want to play basketball. I didn't like it in the 50s.
What did Sabonis do?
I don't want it him.
Sabonis wasn't playing basketball.
He got a technical foul.
Yeah,
but
and
Sabonis
he got a chest off.
But he doesn't have a history.
Don't give me this history
that
crap.
matters.
No, it doesn't.
Now if Sabonis tried to twist his ankle or something, then cool.
Or if this was the 5th ankle he's grabbed or something, that makes a difference.
Grayson Allen, sweep the leg.
Right, that makes a difference.
Karate Kid.
That makes a difference when you're known for it.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it doesn't, man. This is the playoffs. We want the best players on the floor. We want to decide it on the floor. And you let that happen.
We got a saying in the neighborhood. I'm sure it's neighborhoods all over the country. Don't get tricked off the streets, man. Like if a person can that easily deter you and get and trick you into going to jail or getting in trouble, whatever, that you deserve to be there. Sabonis tricked Draymond out of the game. I mean, that's just simple. That's what LeBron did a couple years. That's what these guys do.
Here's the thing.
If you're dumb enough to keep falling for the same trick.
Here's my thing. He was penalized. The flagrancy, he was ejected from that game. The Kings won. That's all you need to do. Let's line up and move on to game 3. It's not like this was something that no call was made and he carried on playing.
What quarter did it happen in again? Huh? What quarter did it happen in again?
It was pretty late, third or fourth quarter.
That's what I thought. So that's probably another reason why.
But you're ejected at winning time. Now I know they were down at the time, but like that was a penalty. Like we're being over punitive to carry this over, and it's not good for basketball. What's good for basketball is two good teams playing a compelling series. That's it. The rest is nonsense. Stephen A. agrees with me this time. He does.
He's a Golden State guy.
This is
You're
a
a Golden
this is a
State guy.
grown man thing, man. I've never been a fan of somebody suspending. Never.
Never.
I never have been a fan of it. I mean, I now if somebody does something to me that I don't like, I want them to suffer a physical consequence. I don't want to suspend them. So like if Sabonis like tears an ACL tomorrow night, I'm okay.
Oh, Lord.
I am. Like you want to do goofy shit on the court? Well, that's it. I'm okay with that. But don't suspend people. Let it play out.
Okay. So the only suspension you agree with is Aaron Hernandez. That's about it.
Aaron Hernandez suspension?
Yeah.
No, he was
still
unavailable
don't
to
think-
play because he was in jail. Like I mean, no. I can also like sir, do you need to suspend him?
Oh,
like-
man, you don't even agree with that one?
No, I mean like logistically. I mean from
I got
here's
into
the
argument with one of my friends
here's the
back home with the whole
perspective.
Aaron Hernandez thing. Still to this day, they never found the gun that they said he shot the person with.
I thought they did.
No, they never found it. So they accused him of something, never found the weapon, never found him located with the weapon. All they had was he was in the same place.
Yeah, but just like OJ.
But his behavior at the house.
But just
they had
like
on
OJ,
camera.
yeah, they
you
have
did.
that.
Yeah,
Like he
see,
did.
no,
Like
I'm
he did.
very like okay. I'm a big psychology
Yeah,
guy,
yeah.
and I'm if you act like you
Well,
know,
I told him, I said, listen, there's two things I look at, especially being locked up. There is he's probably guilty thing. But the law says that you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. And that's where, like, I always get into the thing of, like, they do, oh, no, you guilty until proven innocent. And in that situation, I mean, just randomly talking about, I was like, they never had conclusive evidence.
Yeah, I'm not that. I mean, and as a lawyer, I don't care about that because I look. I mean, to me, when something happens, I'm like, what happened here? And I'm using the tools of psychology.
sure.
Like, okay,
He's insane, for sure. Yeah.
There was
yeah.
like when I was doing an internship at the state attorney's office in Tallahassee. There was a shooting case. There was two employees going into Burger King very early in the morning, and somebody rolled up on them, and shot the two people, and then they fled. And what ended up happening is that the gun was dispersed. Nobody found the gun. But when they found the guy that they arrested for the crime, he was in an apartment complex less than a mile away, and he was hiding in the attic. Like, who else hides in an attic?
Yeah.
Like, what are
Why
you doing
hiding
there?
in the attic?
Like, that said it all. I don't need a gun.
for
I don't
sure.
need ballistics. You're hiding in an attic. Case closed.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other justification for that.
Yeah.
And like, it's just, I look at things that way, and that's,
I hear you.
I'm comfortable with those decisions. Like Casey Anthony. Who else killed the kid? Like, nobody.
Oh, man. Okay. The Lakers are roaring back. They're only down
Roaring
9 now.
That's
Yeah.
not roaring. That's maybe getting a little, little.
Yeah, they're on a 6-1 run.
What stage of the game are we?
We are in the fourth quarter.
Oh, wow. Down
Yeah,
9.
down 9.
How many to play?
10 minutes.
Okay.
8 now? Okay. Okay.
75-83.
Okay.
Low scoring game,
30
too.
seconds.
Okay.
Bucks are
You,
winning right now.
you're a little behind, but that's okay.
Oh, I am?
Sorry. They hit another
Oh, yeah, I
field
got
goal.
9. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right, man.
Damn it, Cliff.
Yeah. I'm not the one to update.
Not everybody can get Verizon.
I have
But you have an iPhone, though, or no?
Yeah, I have an
Oh,
iPhone.
Bubba's got the futuristic Android.
Are you on Wi-Fi?
No.
This is goddamn 5G, man. It's down here.
I know.
5G, 5 LTE. That's not. It's
Causing
weird.
us cancer and all that.
Yeah.
No, but Aaron Hernandez,
But
like, he was incarcerated. Like, suspension's not required.
Suspension's not required.
I mean,
Yeah, well, that's the Draymond thing. We'll see how much it actually affects them. I mean, they just have to have this game 3.
Yeah.
So, and poor Looney, man, he's just not outmatched in this matchup.
really? You think that's one of the big problems?
Not one of the big problems, but without Draymond, I mean, they're gonna have to lean on him more to.
Oh, okay.
And he's just not capable of doing it.
Nah, those
So-
get a big Kuminga game.
That's just what you need.
Yeah. 100%.
That is what you need. All right. So moving on to another series here, just to close out the West, because I mean we
Actually, you might just go with you might go with Poole as a starter
and just run.
and just run.
Yeah.
Because other than Sabonis, they don't really play a lot of side. I mean, Len's the backup,
Yeah.
but they're not a big team. You could go small and not suffer too badly.
Even Lynn was coming in making like impactful plays.
No, I mean they can't and that's the story of like playoff teams at home. Like typically you get all the extra guys play well.
Yeah.
The stars will always play well, but like the extra guys
Yeah.
at home in the playoffs usually do a better job than they do on the road.
What do you make out of this Cleveland-New York series?
I have virtually no interest in watching.
No interest in watching?
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I'll
Okay,
watch it.
You can be that way. I don't know.
You're not
it's-
interested?
It's not compelling to me. Like I don't like.
Winner of this.
What
plays
about
the
you,
Bucks
Cliff?
If they win, right?
Yeah.
I haven't really watched it. I seen last night the Cleveland blew them out, right?
Yeah, you just don't care to
I
watch?
don't-
I think it's a compelling matchup. I think it's first of all, it's two even teams. I like it from that standpoint.
And Donovan Mitchell didn't even go crazy last night. It was what you called it.
It was
went crazy.
Garland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, one of the issues is the early game.
So you don't want a early game and you don't want a late game.
No. The way I operate, usually like I'm doing something. Like we were at Goldenrod the other night. Like usually I'm not getting home and settled till like 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then so like those games are kind of like
Prime
winding
time
down.
pink.
And then primetime pink, man.
Primetime pink.
And then I'm the Warriors games I've watched every as you say every dribble. That's your big call.
That's my big call.
Yeah. So.
I'm not a Knicks guy, man. I think that I think the Knicks are they're always overrated, just like the Cowboys. But I think they put too much on this Jalen thing. I'm just not a Knicks guy. I don't think they have a winning roster. I don't think they're ever going to be able to win. I don't like the way their team is set up, and I am rooting for them to lose.
That is part of it, and I'm not. I guess to be honest, I'm not really invested in Cleveland. I don't dislike them, but I'm just not invested in them.
No, I'm not invested in them, but I like the backcourt, Mitchell and Garland. I do think I really think those bigs are overrated. The way they talk about Mobley and Allen,
Yeah.
jeez Louise.
Well, I like Allen. I don't know how much recognition. I like Allen because he kind of took prior to whatever. I've always liked the way he played. He just goes in there, he does his job. Now the stuff I was hearing about Mobley at points in this year of like he's people are like he's the second coming of Kevin Garnett.
They talk crazy talk.
Insane.
Do y'all see this guy talk? And I hate defensive guys.
Yeah.
That can't stop anybody.
Yeah.
Like anybody. Like, how he was third in the defensive player of the year race, and everybody was like a lot of people that
I
voted
don't
for
even
him.
understand the defense. Like Jaren Jackson won it, but who else was in the like?
It was Jaren Jackson, my guy. I told you I knew he's going to be top 3 at least.
Maxey?
No, not literally one of my guys. The Bucks center, Lopez.
Lopez, yeah.
Remember I was telling you all the help Giannis got. Lopez is. I really think Lopez should have won the award. Jaren Jackson won Defensive Player of the Year because he averaged close to 4 blocks a game. It was like 3 blocks a game. But he has the worst foul rate in the league. He jumps at every fucking thing.
Yeah.
That's not defense.
Yeah.
You block 3 shots a game. Whoopity do. He only plays like 22 minutes a game.
Yeah.
That's the lowest out of any starter. It's because he
Derek
fouls.
White at all in there?
He was. I think he ended up being like 5th or 6th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Defense is really complicated and it's not easily quantified.
I don't think it's complicated at all.
No, I
really
think I
don't.
think that there's different types of defense. Like there are lockdown guys that can get into the best players and cause problems for them. There are passing lane shot blocking guys that kind of influence a lot of stuff like that, but they'll typically not necessarily be as good like actually stopping an individual player.
Yeah.
And then there's guys that, and I think Draymond at his peak falls into this category, where they're just these like intuitive coordinators. And I think Tim Duncan was that, where they're just, they typically play in the back of most of the actions and they just kind of cover and protect things that can otherwise go wrong. Yeah. And I think it's, I kind of like defense, so I kind of like and appreciate all 3. But like, it's tough to say we have one singular Defensive Player of the Year award, what are we doing? We had, MVP can be difficult too. Like the guys present different packages.
Yeah, different
And it's like you were
packages.
kind of saying, well, probably tip the scale for Jaren Jackson to have the blocks. But like you pointed out, well, it's a super high foul rate, and there's other things going on. It can be tough to quantify.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I just think it's lazy voting to vote for the guy with the
Yeah.
most blocks. I just think.
Yeah,
so.
I mean,
think
I don't
that's-
disagree.
I
And,
think the
um,
NFL does that too, though. Like
yeah,
with
yeah.
the sacks and stuff. It's like
Exactly. But most of the years I agree. I agree with most of these. And some years they do give it to the people in those different. If they were very special in what they do.
Right.
Marcus Smart won that one year. He
Last
was
year.
as a lockdown type of
Yeah.
guy.
Right.
They gave it to him. He had a special year doing that.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
held. They had stats where he went against stars and he held them to a certain amount of field goal percentage and points.
And
they gave it to Giannis, the roamer, a couple of years.
No.
You know.
I'm not saying that that there's there is. I mean, you got to give it to the best guy, but the best guy, may like if you're at any given moment, your top 3 or 4 guys in any given season could really present 3 or 4 different ways to impact defensively.
Yeah.
Was kind of what I was saying, and
But,
that's the thing.
Right, and my point is, I just don't think Mobley is anywhere in that class.
Yeah,
and
he's a guy.
but he is young.
He's
so.
a guy that again came in with a lot of hype. I think he was like the 4 pick.
Yeah.
But for me, I haven't seen a lot of growth.
Yeah.
He's a good player, but I don't see like, wow, this guy's really something else. Now, to be honest, on that roster, I think Donovan Mitchell like really changed the arc of a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
Because he comes in and he's going to score and he's going to have a lot of possessions that are his, and that's going to impact what a guy like Mobley does offensively or what he's asked to do, literally.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So you guys are not interested in that series at all. I am, but I think as well. I mean, the Bucks were just a healthy Bucks team would overpower either one of those teams. Would you guys be interested in that series, Bucks versus Knicks or Cavs?
I think they're gonna demolish them though.
Yeah, either one of those teams, right?
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think Giannis is just Giannis is just too much for them. Like, and then with the supporting cast he has, is like you're putting such a demand on either one of those teams to try to stop Giannis.
Yeah.
And it's like Chris Middleton. I'm not the biggest, but Drew Holiday. I love Drew Holiday. It's like whenever he needs to feel that like I'm gonna kill you role, he does it. You know what I'm saying? Like just from my perspective.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of series, like to me, like I look at Cleveland, New York. I'm not invested in any particular player or storyline, and I also don't think like whoever wins, there's not a lot of meaning there. I don't expect them to progress much farther than simply get to the next round. Where I think to me what's compelling about certain series is either the basketball's super fun to watch, like you have at Golden State or Sacramento, or there's a component of, well, hey, this is a pretty early series, but one of these two teams could actually go far.
Yeah, and I think but I think a successful season for either one of those teams is a first round victory, though.
Oh, for sure.
But I think
these are teams that
anything
haven't enjoyed much
beyond
success.
first round victory to me is like
It's
unrealistic.
crazy.
Yeah, unrealistic.
I mean, if it were to happen, though, it's
to me
You're
with
playing
the
without
series
Superman.
I'm looking forward to most is Celtics and Sixers. And that, I mean, I'm a fan of the Celtics, but I think that's going to probably be like last year when the Celtics played the Nets. It was just good. It was entertaining the whole way through. You know what I mean? I just think when I'm looking at some of these first
Entertaining
teams,
through a sweep.
but
each game in itself was
decided by less than 10
it
points,
was.
and
Yeah.
Tatum had the game winner at one time, and then
It was. That's another reason why I'm just not a KD guy.
Yeah.
It's very similar to Jordan. A lot of his lowlights are just never talked about, and
Yeah.
he's just always the best player in the league. And it's like, well,
he's not always the best player in the league. KD.
per fans, not per anyone that knows anything.
Right.
But per fans, Cliff is in the chat with us.
Yeah.
I mean, the KD guys are just they're just.
Yeah.
And then when you ask what happened and this and that, they either don't respond or they just say, "Oh, but he's the best." Well,
the thing that
Can you address
every
him getting
KD
swept
person
on him?
talks about is what he's able to do offensively,
Yeah.
and it's incredible. I mean, he's 7 foot tall. He shoots at a high clip. Like
I don't think it's incredible. I don't. I mean, because it's.
I think what's incredible
I've
to me
seen
is the
it
efficiency
managed.
more so.
I've seen it. Okay, it's efficiency. Well, okay, so you shot whatever. What do you want to say? 8 for 13. and that's a really good percentage. Your team loses.
Yeah.
You don't think to shoot 20?
No, I'm with you
What
on that part.
if you go 16 to 20?
Based on that,
And he never does it.
on the elite offensive player reputation, like on some level, how different is KD from Carmelo Anthony?
Very different.
How so?
Carmelo
Because
gonna
where's
shoot 20 plus.
where's the volume? Where's the accolades? How many? Off the top of my head, maybe KD has one scoring title. Maybe. I don't think he has one, but he
No,
made.
but
he
I'm
definitely
saying,
has one.
I'm saying those
He had
two
like
players are
32
far
one
more.
Was it the MVP
I
year?
think the MVP
The
year.
MVP.
I'm saying those two players are probably far more similar than you would think.
No.
How so?
No, Carmelo is not an efficient player. He's
In
not
his
a.
peak, he
it's-
was.
Huh?
In
no.
his peak, he was.
Not like
Do you think-
not
do you
this
think-
level of
Do you think
efficiency.
KD
I don't
gets
know.
he gets hyped for his defense, like he's overrated defender?
Oh, most definitely.
The
He's-
only
Last year in that series,
That-
when Tatum and them were going back and forth, knocking his head off, is when I realized like he really don't play defense like everyone says.
for me, the only time when he got defensive credit was when he was in Golden State.
and he was a roamer. They put him in a Giannis type of
position.
situation.
Yeah, and he had a free roaming role.
Yeah, free roaming
and
role.
it played to his strengths.
He's not a he'll get demolished against anybody in his at his size, not his size, but his position that can score.
Yeah.
They're going to score at will, just like
No,
they
did it
would
to him
against
last
anybody
year.
else. And that's the thing. But as far as the Boston Philly thing go, yeah, that is going to be one of the best.
I'm still I'm still caught on this, Carmelo. If you take KD's Warrior years off, like, how different are they? They're high-scoring offensive guys that teams don't win.
I can't. Now listen, I'm low on KD. I am, but I'm much lower on Carmelo. I'm not. I can't disrespect KD like that. KD has a higher pedigree. He's won MVPs. He's
One MVP, right? One.
One MVP. I'm sorry,
That's
I
it.
said
Okay.
I said S on it. One
Yeah.
MVP. He led the OKC
You
team
can
to
argue,
the final.
and I'm
to
not.
the finals now.
I'm not saying that you can't argue he's the better player.
Much better.
But no, based on what? A single MVP
based
award?
on accolades, based
What
on
other accolades?
playoff success.
What? Take the Warrior years out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying he lost, but he led his
got
team to the finals. Yes,
Yeah, I
lost
don't
his
know.
team. That counts.
If
So
they're
if you're
not
rating
as
them
far,
out of 10,
they're
you're
not
rating
as
them out of
far
10,
apart
pick
as
where
you
would
think.
you put KD and where would you put Carmelo?
I
Rating
mean,
them.
out of 10.
Out of 10, or do 20, so that gives you a little bit more space.
Well, not no. If you do 10, I would say KD's maybe an 8, and I think Carmelo's maybe a 6. But my point is, like again, KD's better. He has a bit more accomplishments, but their faults are the same.
No.
No.
Melo is an awful defender. I don't care if you put him as a roamer, you put him as a perimeter, you put him
And
here, put him
Melo's gonna
there.
shoot
Old,
regardless.
young, fresh. He's a minus defender, and then he had never showed any interest in that side of the ball. Not even in
And
moments.
KD did for what, 2 years?
James Harden
KD for
shows
2
in
years?
moments that he wants to play defense.
But
Melo never
KD
did.
for 2 years showed interest.
Even when he doesn't, even when he wasn't effective as a defender, he was a willing defender. Like he just wasn't capable of being better. Like
You're a hell of a KD.
Carmelo
apologist.
falls asleep. No, I'm not a KD guy. I know I'm coming off as a KD guy. I'm not a KD guy. I'm not. I'm just way worse on Carmelo. The Carmelo fans, I don't even engage in conversations with them. That's because they're out of their head too.
Yeah.
Carmelo fans, they're
No, they're delusional.
they should be in Lakeside, Aspire. They really should. Yeah, but the Philly Boston series. The thing about Philly, so they played in Brooklyn, and it's another bad team, just like Atlanta, Brooklyn. Those guys shouldn't make playoffs in any normal year. But Brooklyn does have some interesting players like Bridges and stuff.
Yeah.
Shout out to Evan Brand for trading him for a guy that's not in the NBA anymore, or overseas for that matter. He's home working at Walmart. But this Philly team, this is the worst Philly team that I've ever rooted for, in my opinion. Like, not worse. It's I would say worse.
I thought you were there.
Different
for the
aspects.
Process.
I've been there. Yeah, I've been
Yeah,
there
man, those are
since
some
AI.
tough
It's funny you think. So you think prior years you'll have better teams going into playoffs?
Yes, I think.
Yes.
But my point to that is saying is, this is the best chance. This year, the East is just all screwed up. You got Milwaukee with the Giannis injury, but even if Giannis was healthy, Middleton is just not. He's himself for a game. Then for the next 3 or 4 games, he's still trying to find
I watched
himself.
Middleton. The only time he plays good, and this is I swear he plays amazing every time he plays Boston. It's like he plays the best he can play whenever he plays Boston. I watch him play someone else, and I'm like, bro, you just went 12 for 17,
Against,
30, and
right.
8 and 8, and then you play them and go 12
and go off.
Yeah, and go. Just
There's always guys.
horrible.
There's always guys like that. And then Boston has had better teams than this
Yeah.
team they have this year. They've been better coached. They've had better teams. This is not the best Boston team in the last 3, 4, 5 years, whatever you want to say. Even last year's team, I'll take last year's Boston team over this year's team. And so this is our best chance. But I don't like this team. I don't like this Philly team. I rarely post about us. Of course, if we make it, I'm going to be there, and I'm still here. But I don't like this team. I don't like the way it's constructed. If this,
To me, this
I wish
year-
this 85-year-old man. I wish Tobias was picking up his brothers. I wish Elton Brand was there to pick up his brothers. There's other guys I wish that could have been there instead of Ralph there, to take that. But it just is what it is.
Yeah.
But the second round should be a fun one with Boston there. It's our rival, only on paper, not in real life.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of luster out of the series. I mean, Boston's really just had the upper hand. You don't feel.
Well, Embiid kills us, and then we say, "Hey, somebody else do it," and that's just how it's been. Embiid always goes off.
What did you think of the Nets' aggressive doubles?
They've been doing this game. They have to do it. The problem is Boston does it, Toronto does it, Brooklyn does it. Those are the only 3 teams in the East that does it like that. And Milwaukee, they'll do it at times, and when they do it, it's devastating because it's Brook and Giannis doubling Embiid. The problem is, and this is the thing, I'm in all these Sixers chats, and it's fucking ridiculous.
Are you
because
really?
I am. I'm that fan. And so against Brooklyn, it looks different because those guys are just not. They're not that good. Outside of Bridges, those guys are just not that good.
Yeah.
And now, not only are they not that good, they're mostly all one-way offensive guys. You look at Steph Curry, you look at Spencer Dinwiddie, all these guys. So when you're doubling Embiid, the rotation is so bad. So these guys are shooting wide open threes or layups. And Maxey, Tobias.
The stat of the first game, I said.
We shot what?
They're shooting wide open shots.
Yeah, we shot.
the whole
We
game. What do you
shot a
think's
record
gonna
of threes.
happen?
We shot a record of threes, and they're wide open.
Yeah.
Against these other really good teams, it's
not
not going
gonna happen.
to happen.
Yeah. Hey, but they've also, I mean, they've hit the shots. I get that they're open, but they've done a good job of hitting them. No, but but contrast. I mean, realistically, if you drop, you go through 06, 07 stretch, and it starts getting everybody's head, and it's a different ballgame.
Yeah, it's different because against these better teams, against Brooklyn, it's wide open.
Yeah.
Against these other teams, you're just open.
I understand.
And then that's when the old 0-7. You know what I mean?
I get it,
It's
but
just
I
a
mean,
difference.
there's still a credit of just hitting the shots, and so far they've done that.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, I get what Brooklyn's doing. It's like
But-
we're
but-
gonna we're gonna roll the dice that these extra guys are just not gonna hit these.
Here's the difference, right? Because I agree with Brooklyn's strategy as well. I would mix it up more. They since game 1, minute 1 to game 2, end of 2, they've been aggressively doubling every single play. I wouldn't do it that way. The better teams also switch it up some.
Yeah, be some more nuance to it.
And their center, what's his name again? He's another guy that they talk about Claxton. They talk about defensively a lot. And I'm just a guy. If they don't trust you for one possession against Embiid, why are we talking about you as a premier defender?
Yeah.
It's a guy at your position. They don't trust you for one possession. Yeah. That means something to me. Yeah. In Cleveland, same thing. That's the type of person you can't guard a person for one possession. You're not a defender. I don't give a damn. I know he's the best center in the league offensively and this and that. But come on, man, you could put up a better fight. I'm in the locker room. I'm the type of guy. I feel some type of way if you call a double. If I'm out there and you call a double, or you ask me to switch or something, I'm like, what are you talking about, man?
Scheme before ego, Bubba. Scheme before ego.
Yeah. But that should be a good matchup.
Yeah.
Second round, what do you foresee a better second round matchup? Because you got Milwaukee will end up playing those two.
Who the Suns and Clippers will play?
So,
they'll play Denver, right?
Suns and
I thought it
Clippers.
was the Lakers.
No,
No. Lakers. Winner of Lakers will play Kings Warriors.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that it? Hold
Yeah.
on. I'm looking at the bracket
If it's
now.
Denver-
Memphis was 2. Lakers
I
were
think
7.
if Clippers,
Pink is right.
If
always
Clippers or Suns win, I think they're gonna. Denver just always folds in the playoffs, man.
You know, here's the funny thing. Like in 2 weeks ago, the playoffs seemed really intriguing.
Yeah.
But right now, they
When
don't
you
seem,
when you unfold it,
they
unpack
don't seem
it.
it. Like
Yeah.
like Boston and Philly are gonna roll. I still believe the Bucks will win, but they've created a little bit of a hassle for themselves. And I'm not buying anybody out of the Cleveland New York series. So the Bucks should win to the conference final.
Bucks are up 20 right now.
I like, I mean, I want to watch the Boston Philly series, but I still favor Boston to win it. And then we should get a very cool rematch of Boston Milwaukee going at it, which would be a great series. Now, I do think the Lakers and the Memphis is a bit of a toss-up. I'm not sold right now that the Lakers roll on the thing. Kings and Warriors, it's looking like the Kings, but I'm not giving up on that. I just don't care what Denver does. Like they're just I have no interest in them whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't.
I just don't and so
Kings
that
are
series,
7.
any series they're in,
Minutes left.
is just almost by definition not interesting.
You said Memphis up 7? Okay.
Yeah.
With 3 minutes left.
255, yeah, 255.
Yeah, because Nuggets, if they Suns would be the best. Nuggets is another team I don't believe in, but I think the Suns would make quick work of the Nuggets. But I don't know. I mean, they have the team to do it. They have to do it this year. There's no
Who,
excuses.
the Nuggets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have no injuries.
I just don't see them doing it.
I don't either. But
Just don't believe in them.
And it's Minnesota, just what a shit team. I really wish OKC would have won. OKC is because they're so young. There's a big variance, right? So
Yeah.
some games are going to look really good. Some games are going to look really bad.
Yeah.
Minnesota's just going to look bad every night. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
I just want Anthony Edwards to get out of there.
He has to, man.
That's throw that man a life raft.
That is an awful situation that's over there, and their GM will. I don't see how he can keep a job longer than this year, but we'll see. What a terrible job he's done. That's what a job when the GM has done an awful job and you're the next GM to come in. It's different from a coach, because when you're coming into a new GM job, you don't have anything to work with. You know what I'm saying? You have to fix issues, and you don't have any picks. You don't have any interesting players to trade.
The coach, it's more like boots on the ground. Like you can bring a certain like energy, you
Atmosphere,
can tweak
you
some
can change
things and
the,
whatever. But the
environment.
GM, you don't have like this sort of day-to-day rapport with the play.
Right.
You're literally like you're in an office and you've got the cap dynamics. And
Yeah.
You've got like scouting reports. It's like you just got to make something out of that. Like,
Yeah.
And then you got the owner. Like, does he want to spend into the tax or not?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just you're just like up there fighting yourself in an office, man. That's a whole different thing.
No, it is. Let me see here. So we already talked about the coach of the year, and what do you think about the new clutch of the year award that Darren Fox won?
I just found out about this the other day. What exactly was the criteria?
I think just like all other awards, there is no exact
There's
criteria.
no criteria. Okay.
Well, supposedly they broke it down into like clutch time, so on, because they were talking about him throughout the year. I remember them saying something about that. Supposedly in the clutchest moments of the season, De'Aaron is like over leaps and bounds. Over
Yeah. I know he led in fourth quarter points and last 5-minute points, and then they DeMar DeRozan I think was second in that award.
Yeah. I mean, I'm becoming a bigger and bigger Fox fan by the day. I mean, I really like him. I haven't watched a lot of Kings basketball up until this year. I remember I caught a game maybe 3 weeks ago, and they even lost the game. But I was like, this is really a fun, intriguing team. I mean, Fox is as good at his position as damn near anybody. Yeah. And I thought it was really interesting, like how important Sabonis is. I know he hasn't always shot well in this particular series, but the amount of offensive actions he gets involved in and in the manner in which he's utilized is critical. Like they've gotten good minutes out of Alex Len, but I think he's really hard to replace in what they do.
Yeah.
As far as the fluidity and spacing and everything that they have. But yeah, for Fox, I'm totally into him getting an award. He's been fantastic.
Brooks hit a 3 and then stared LeBron down in his face.
That guy's a douchebag.
I don't like Brooks.
Yeah.
I've never liked Brooks.
He's just one of the like. I honestly feel like he's just doing this for money. Like
Yeah.
he's creating
Five
this
of
like.
13 on the game.
Yeah, he's like. I mean, he's like a. I mean, at the end of the day, I think he's like a solid NBA player, but I think like he's making a deliberate thing with the antics to kind of like almost like up his value.
I think he's a better version of Pat Bev.
Yeah,
Better,
well, it's
better
a little
version
bit
of
like what
Lance
he
Stevenson.
does.
Yeah.
You know, and Pat
He's been
Bev
the
is
same level.
nauseating on his podcast. He just is. Like
I thought he was going to be more interesting in this podcast, more interesting, more funny.
but
he's not.
He's not.
He's not.
Like I mean, at the end of the day, he's kind of like this. He's not a funny guy. He's like a really like a petty guy.
Yeah.
And that comes through. And like, if you can, like, what I think's happened with Pat Bev is like certain certain little quotes or anecdotes, like just in isolation, are somewhat compelling. But when you listen to him talk repeatedly, he becomes less interesting.
Right. No, he does. And this is why I try to tell people about Milwaukee, man. This team is just fucking nuts, man.
That's why I said
This team is nuts.
they're about to be up 30 before half.
Jesus.
It's the best GM in the game. I mean, Brook Lopez is going crazy. Drew is having an awesome game. Everybody is.
A circle the wagon special.
Just everybody. Joe Ingles is shooting.
Connaughton hasn't missed a shot.
Joe Ingles hasn't missed a shot.
Yeah.
Ingles, Pat Connaughton hasn't missed a shot. Holiday only missed 3.
I actually thought English was going to have a bit of a bigger impact than he's had so far this
I
year.
did too, to be honest. When they got him,
yeah.
I was like, man, but it's just all the people they have on their team and what
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah, I mean, he's had an impact. I mean, they're the number one seed in the
I
entire
thought it was a little
league.
bit bigger. I just thought it'd be a little bit bigger.
Crowder's only played 6 minutes.
I think everyone's on that team has done exactly what
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
supposed to do.
Yeah.
I mean, like they had the best record in the league by far, and
Not by far. They had one more.
over what? Over
They
Boston?
were 1-1. Yeah, they were one. We beat them 2-1. They were one game ahead of us.
Yeah, and I was thinking about Denver, not
Yeah, Denver
not
is like
Boston.
3 or something behind.
Yeah,
each of us.
and also what I was gonna say. Oh, and Giannis missed a bunch of games.
Yeah.
So somebody was definitely holding him
Well,
up.
they won a bunch of games without Giannis.
That's what I'm
which
saying.
was the crazy part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like they're doing tonight.
And yeah, no, I mean that's why I said that when I said earlier the Heat they have to play perfect without Giannis there,
Yeah.
like to win.
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad they're changing these rules, man.
Which rules?
Break this Milwaukee team up.
What's the rule?
What rule changes?
The ones we talked about the other week about they're gonna force teams to make hard decisions because they're making a harsher penalty for being in the tax.
Oh yeah, I'm against that completely.
Yeah, and you're not
Yeah.
going to be able to. Also, not only is there a harsher penalty for being in a tax money wise, but if you are in the tax, you won't be able to use your mid-level exception.
Yeah, that's bad.
Which like for us, we're in a tax. I think I'm pretty sure our mid-level is PJ, so like we wouldn't be able to get PJ. Milwaukee, I had to get rid of what's my guy's name? Bobby Portis, who was big for that team.
See, that's not defensible to me. Like if teams go out and make good decisions, find guys, cultivate guys, they should absolutely be rewarded and encouraged to keep those guys.
Boston got to get rid of Brogdon.
Yeah, that's a
For real?
joke.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about like grandfather. I'm not sure about how.
Well, you made it like if you signed him on a mid level or whatever like that. I mean, you've already got him,
You already
so
got
whatever.
him.
But like you wouldn't be able. If the
Moving
rules were in place
forward.
last year, you would not have been able to make that move.
So when is that going to affect?
It was a part of the
new collective bargaining
new collective
agreement?
bargaining. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's awful.
yeah.
You want continuity and you want teams to be rewarded for finding and developing players.
Yeah.
I mean, what else do you want to incentivize? Mediocrity?
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't. You don't. Just like you shouldn't be suspending guys.
Yeah. What does some of these teams do, man, if they lose? For example, if you got the Lakers, right? if the Lakers lose in this first round here, what do you do with that team?
Re-sign Austin Reeves to whatever he wants.
Trade Anthony Davis. If I was them.
I would trade Anthony Davis in a
You
heartbeat.
think it would be time?
Yeah. What
I
else?
mean, LeBron. If I'm LeBron, I'm sure that's what he's going to be banging to do.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And you can get a boatload for Anthony.
I don't know if you can.
Nah,
What?
one of them teams. Will.
Who though? What's that team?
They missed that window for Jaylen Brown.
Heat.
They should have did it
And the
2
Heat.
years ago.
The Heat,
But what if the Heat don't have a boatload to give back?
the Cavs probably would. I think about those teams that think they're like, oh, I'm a player away. You know what I mean? Like,
So you go, okay. So what if you go like
Move the
okay,
Mobley kid.
Anthony Davis for like Mobley and the other guy,
And Allen, possibly.
and then
and they probably
whatever.
With a pick here.
If you're the Lakers, that'd be a gift, I think, automatic. But if you're Cleveland, you look at it, so we got Donovan Mitchell, we got Garland, now we had AD. Like that probably looks pretty
that's what I'm
good for
saying.
you.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Both sides.
yeah, yeah.
We need to
There's a
submit
few.
this and ask for a fee.
That would be.
It'd be crazy to
No,
happen
you're not.
next
No.
year.
Wait, the NBA could just hire us as like a 3-man trade board. The teams
We don't
are,
like that
teams
one.
are
Not that one.
teams are no longer involved. You can't make trades. We just concoct trades that we think are good for everybody,
I'll tell you
and
right
we have
now,
full authority for those trades to go through.
I'm pretty sure Boston, if they don't go to the finals, I'm pretty sure Jaylen Brown he's gonna be out of there.
Really?
Yeah, the way he's talking. Now, I believe Jason has tried to work on it, but I just see in everything that they do, it doesn't seem fluid. Now, it seems like they talk because they both kill on the court and so and so, but it's like, you can kind of tell when people are like friends, and then you can tell like, we on the same team,
We're
we got the
coworkers.
same
Yeah.
mission. Now, if they win, I think he stays. But
I 1000% agree with that.
Really?
Yeah, and also there's another component to what even if they do win, I think he could leave because I think
Yeah.
a small piece of him or
wants
medium
his
piece,
own
I
shine.
think he wants his own shine. Want to lead
he's
his own
tired of
team.
hearing Jason
Yeah.
Tatum.
Again, I just think that's a bad move.
Yeah, Pink's
I
not
do too.
Pink's not a big guy on that. It depends on the situation he moves to, though. That's the thing.
But what
Like
situation-
for example, James Harden leaving OKC to go to Houston. He didn't win in Houston, but that was the best
He
thing
never
for him.
would have been James Harden.
He
that
never
we
would have been
know.
James
Yeah,
Harden.
So
I
here's
agree
the
with
thing.
that.
If Jaylen Brown goes, wherever
But-
he goes, they're trading. Boston ain't the Sixers.
Hold
You
on.
go-
But that GM's gone though.
No, what you call it? They done. How you think we got Brogdon? We got Brogdon for nothing.
Yeah, but not that's. I mean,
Danny
Brad
Ainge is
Stevens.
gone.
is
we're talking
already
about stars.
done. Brad Stevens
like,
is.
like he was known for ripping teams for stars.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm
he's
saying?
the
Like
best.
Brogdon was a good move. Don't get me wrong. I'm
Yeah,
not saying it
but
was
we
a
got
bad
him
move.
for
It was a good move.
what you call is they're not gonna let Jaylen Brown walk out the door without you giving them a buttload.
It depends. If he forces his way out, it's not much you guys can do. You know,
He
at the
would
same
still
time.
has another year.
But what's-
so next year
what's
he
the
would have to
move
play.
then?
You think Boston forces him to stay? I don't think Boston's that type of franchise.
No, they aren't. But when you have a year to go, it's not. He's not on his last year. So
Oh,
next-
you're saying you can get more for him because it's not. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
So
I see
he
what you're saying.
can't. He's gonna have to play next year, or the team that wants him is going to have to give something good. Like Boston's not gonna let him just. You know what I'm saying? The way the organization works is not gonna.
Well, that always raises an interesting question because you're like, okay, he has one more year on the deal. We can essentially compel him to play, but then potentially lose him for nothing.
Well, the other thing that kills
Or-
if he makes all in NBA this year, that's another reason he may stay.
Yeah, because
'Cause the contract.
of the max.
Yeah.
The super
Or,
max.
you feel like, oh, he wants to go anyway. Let's trade him now. There's still a year to get to maximize value. But then what is the value of Jaylen Brown?
That's a great
and
question.
you don't want some like AD trade.
No.
Jaylen Brown.
They got too much with Al Horford. They're
Is-
going to be wanting like.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're going to give for Jaylen Brown.
I think it's intriguing because again,
Damian Lillard?
That's the
and
only.
why would you
person-
want him?
I think he would do. I think that some rumors are that
Cliff likes Dame.
no. I think rumors are that no. That I didn't. They didn't kind of start spreading that Dame wants to come to Boston. Now Jaylen for Dame. Dame's older. It's a little bit. It could be a little bit tough because you got Marcus Smart, Derek White, those guys. I don't. You know what I mean?
Who do you think has to give up more in that trade?
Yeah, who has to?
Portland would definitely have to
Portland
give up
has
more.
to.
You think so?
100%.
I don't think so, man.
Yeah.
Unless you're stupid. If you're Boston. no
Because
way.
Dame has
Dame is
Dame has a
30
higher
what?
status.
How old is Dame?
Dame is older.
32.
We know that. About somewhere around
Jaylen
there.
Brown's 25.
I know that. But Dame is a win now player. You're getting him to win now.
I don't think Brad Stevens is that stupid.
No, bro. Jaylen Brown is one of the best wing defenders.
He's not.
Jaylen Brown is one of the best wing defenders in the league. He
And
has
Dame's
way
one of the
more
best point
youth.
guards.
Way
Not
more
one of the
youth.
best.
This year,
Not one of the best.
Jaylen
I
Brown
agree with
averaged
that.
27 points a game.
I'm talking about his status.
But his status is fraudulent.
I
And
know
we
it is.
talked about this.
I
like,
know. I'm with
Yeah,
you, but
okay.
we know his
Yeah.
status is his status.
And I'm telling
we
you,
can't take it
Brad
away from him.
Stevens is not that.
No.
stupid.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
It's
go
not-
try that with another
Go
team.
try that with
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
else. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
They're gonna have to give up to do the trade. Whoever they trade, if they does go,
Portland
it's
have
gonna
to
be
give up some
Butler.
more. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
That's. I think Jaylen Brown is. It's almost
I think
difficult
it's
to
perfect.
trade him.
Yeah.
It is.
Because-
I don't know how to quantify. I love him. I don't know how
Yeah.
to quantify his. I like him more than Jason Tatum, to be honest.
He's been for the last couple years like my favorite. I just call it like my favorite sub All-Star player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but again, like his age, combined with like crazy playoff experience
Yeah.
and pedigree, like that's also
You're not getting some guy who's like wet behind the ears, doesn't know what he's doing. Like he's been to the playoffs basically every year of his career almost.
He's been
And they've
farther
gone
than
deep,
he's been
yeah.
farther than Dame Lillard ever has, or ever will go.
Unless he goes to Boston.
No, it won't work. They will not be a better team.
Now, what do the Clippers do? Clippers are in a tough situation. If they go out,
Fire your guy Ty Lue. Fresh start.
Tyler is not the problem, man.
He may not be, but I'm all for a fresh start.
I don't know what they're gonna do, man.
That's
They're
a tough
just
situation, man.
fucked.
They
They just are. Like you got the Kawhi, Paul George axis. They're not healthy. They're whatever. You haven't been able to add quality pieces around them. They just are what they are. I mean, like, honestly, you got to.
What about you guys? What about Sixers? What are y'all gonna do? If y'all lose this next round, y'all gonna do something.
Yeah, I mean,
Doc made it seem like I seen
hopefully
an
they listen
interview.
to
He was
me.
like basically like, this is how I know Doc done been through since. He was like, we don't think about what's gonna happen after it happens. like he's like, when it happens, we'll see what happens then. I'm like,
my only hope and wish would be that what I've been hoping and wishing for years now,
what?
and that's I'm like Pink. I hope for death.
Tobias Harris.
Yeah, I'm surprised y'all didn't get rid of him a while ago.
Elton. I can't say that
Is
name
he still
enough.
in the building?
I don't know how this man has a job. What he does, I have fucking no idea. He's getting free money, and I don't want to talk about him anymore.
I think that the Sixers, it's going to hinge on Harden.
Yeah, but Harden is already. I think Harden's gone. Whether we win
Yeah,
or
if
lose.
y'all don't win, yeah.
No,
he's
win or
gone.
lose, he's gone. Win, he's definitely gone. Win, he's definitely gone.
Yeah.
Lose, I still think he's gone. So he's gone. And then then it's time to pay Maxey. We're in a bad spot.
Yeah.
Because Maxey is an interesting player to play.
I like him a lot.
To pay. I like him, but he's going to be overpaid.
Yeah.
He's not. He's
He's gonna be overpaid because y'all got to keep him.
He's a hero. Jordan Poole,
But he plays
Malik
defense.
Monk. That's smoke and mirrors. No, he doesn't.
But he's not. I mean, the point being,
He's not on the same level. When I'm saying defense is those guys.
He's
better than those guys
staircase up.
defensively.
Yeah,
he's probably not as good as them offensively.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he's not an all-star.
Yeah.
And he probably won't be an all-star. Maybe like one of those one-appearance all-stars.
fully 1,000% agree.
And
Yeah.
then,
And
so
you-
what do we got to
you can't
pay a
give
guy
those guys
like
a
that?
max contract? But
Yeah.
that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after that,
After this,
who
you
knows?
think Tobias Harden will be gone?
Now, is Harden out of contract?
I don't think
or,
Tobias will
or
be
would he
gone.
have to be traded?
He will be he has a player opt out. He can opt out.
So
after
he,
this
so
year
he could
and
be
go
out and
anywhere.
just leave and whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Because then you're not going to have to. I mean, you're not going to get or have to take anything in connection with him leaving.
Yeah, and the only way we do keep him is with that max contract foolishness.
Yeah.
And I do.
Oh, if he makes All NBA.
Well, not only that, just that his contract is up, so
Okay.
he wants
Then
a max
y'all offer
contract,
him a
all
max.
NBA or not. and
I wouldn't
there's
offer him a max contract.
not in a million fucking
I'm
effing
just
years.
not like, and I've talked about this before. I just do not like how the maxes elevate with years of service.
Yeah.
Because the older dudes are just not that good.
Yeah.
And then you're locked into like paying like these older guys like $45-50 million a year.
Over that.
It's crazy.
Next year, I think Dame is closing in on $60 million
Yeah.
for next year. Just
Oh,
alone.
how do you
They
trade?
redid his
How do you
fee
trade him
structure.
then
Yeah, I don't.
with that money coming?
The only hope is that Jaylen Brown does make an All NBA team. Then the money can almost match. Now it
was
won't
gonna say, I
match.
don't
No,
think-
it's still going to be
'cause
all.
still years of
But that's
service.
the only hope. That's the
Right.
only hope.
Oh, and that's definitely
I
not
don't
going to
want him for
happen.
no 60
Well, I was going to say that's definitely not going to happen because just from a financial perspective, it would be Boston that would have to throw in some extra pieces.
Yes,
to
that's
match.
yes.
So I mean, we're just looking at it player-wise.
Yeah.
Boston should get a little bit more than Dame, but contract-wise, they'd have to give up a little bit more than Jaylen Brown, which is, I mean, Brad Stevens is a bright guy. I mean, we're not, you know, Elton Brand might not even make that trade.
Shit. Yeah, the problem with Tobias is you can't get off of him. You don't have to ride that contract out, even on an
How many
expiring
more years?
deal.
Yeah, 2 more.
Yeah,
Two more, and I would not touch
that.
Dame at all. No shot. I would trade for
if you're Boston,
if I'm any team in the league
no, I'm touching him.
for $60 million.
I don't give a damn what it was. If I can get Tobias out of the building, I'll touch him. I'll touch him. I'll touch
That would
him
be
physically
good.
wherever
That
he
would-
wants
that
to be
would
touched.
That would be
Really?
good
All
for
of
the
that stuff.
Sixers, I think so.
Yeah.
Because
Really?
it's Embiid, yeah, it's Embiid and yeah.
Honestly, I
think-
don't care who it was for.
So you're saying like theoretically Harden leaves, and then you package together Tobias Harris, some future considerations, and a few bags of shit, and you take on Dame.
Yes. That's the best case scenario. There is no scenario better for us.
First, I was about to say because the Sixers after this year is going to be rough. Like you're saying,
It's
like
murky.
you're breaking it down.
It gets murky.
I would rather try to get Jaylen Brown.
That's not going to happen.
The Celtics definitely not trading him.
We
to
had
the
a
Eastern
chance,
team.
and guess what Elton Brand said no. Wow. The Ben Simmons thing before everyone found out. When only I knew.
And only you.
Oh, I knew the Ben Simmons.
When only I knew.
I knew Ben Simmons wasn't Ben Simmons.
And that trade was on the table.
Apparently he's attacking his rehab.
Jesus.
Didn't you used to play basketball?
Baby Jesus.
He's with what team is he with?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
He dropped LeBron and them crew.
Or did they drop
agency.
him?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a good question. And now he's lonely where he should be.
That's funny.
He's only 2 years away from
What a
hanging
collab.
himself, and I can only hope for the best. All righty.
Bubba, you fully come onto the dark side. Welcome aboard.
Only with a couple of guys here. Let's just close this out. We know that the Lakers has officially lost.
Yeah.
So the series is tied 1-1. I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing. I mean, they stole one in Memphis. That's all you want to do really as a team coming in,
Well, if you're Memphis, the longer the series goes, the greater the chance that AD doesn't make it to the finish line. Seriously.
Well, AD played like straight booty tonight.
Well, no, but I'm saying like if you get this to 7 games, like scientifically, he will get hurt.
Sure.
That's what let me tell you. Well, first let's finish this because LeBron and Richie Harmura, however you say his name,
Hachimura.
they're the only ones that got off the bus tonight. They're the only 2 guys that got off the bus. Everybody else.
Austin
played, like,
Reeves didn't get off
He
the
didn't
bus.
play bad, but he didn't play. I mean,
He didn't-
5
he
for
wasn't
12,
Austin
12
Reeves.
points, 5 and 4
Yeah,
assists.
and he got him in a starting lineup now. That's not going to cut it. And
What do you guys
D'Angelo
think of that guy?
of who? Of Austin?
Yeah.
I think he's nice. He's a nice player. Lakers, they find these like they found the Malik Monk. They found the what's the other guy that went to Chicago?
Which I did.
Caruso,
Jordan Clarkson.
Jordan Clarkson. Like they have had a lot of luck with these.
But I also feel
lower
like
tier
those
guards.
guys in that exact player profile somehow just get overrated because they're Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a weird phenomenon at the time.
It is, but Caruso is a good NBA player.
I mean, Clarkson kind of does what
Clarkson
he does.
does what he
but I
does.
almost feel like when they first show that promise as Lakers, like there's just no restraint on the imagination of where
No,
it could go.
no.
And then the reality sets in and goes, oh no, this is a nice two-way player,
Yeah.
or this is a really good six-man.
And I think that's what Reeves is going to be. I mean, the way he's been outperforming D'Angelo is wild. D'Angelo he's another guy. When he gets to the playoffs, his numbers really
2 for 11 tonight.
take a huge dip.
What are like so? I mean, it's got to be a mental thing. Like
Yeah.
you've got like there has to be
Pressure. It's,
a mental profile,
pressure.
but there has to be a mental profile that you can see that that you can better gauge. This guy's more inclined to fold versus this guy. Like when you're scouting and looking and doing
Some
this stuff,
psychological test they can add.
yeah, you got to be able to process that and kind of get a better feel for who's gonna be one of those dudes that can
but
handle
you
that
know,
environment.
also there's people that play bad in a system and they go to another system in the same situations and they excel. So it's like
But in the playoffs or just excel generally?
playoffs. What was the player? One of them recently, like the last couple of years, like he went off in the playoffs, and then for the other team, like he didn't even really do anything. I'm trying to think. They talked about it last year, I believe. I gotta think about it.
Yeah, I'm sure. But and that's why I mean I have so much respect for the real like superstars who perform and show up every year in the playoffs versus a guy like AD who really is up and down. I have a really hard time comparing him to the Giannis's, Embiid's, KD's.
I simply
stuff
don't.
like
I
that.
never have.
But a
No,
lot of
I just
people
haven't.
do,
I mean,
man.
he's never been that guy for me.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's been foolish that his name gets lumped into that discussion.
And then what do we do? I was going to bring this up earlier. What do we do with the guys like Kawhi's and Jimmy Butler's who they really only show up for the postseason? I mean, regular season they can really give a damn.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. Kawhi, and again, if they find a way to beat the Suns, like his whole career is just the most bizarre thing.
Yeah.
You know, like starts out as a young, promising guy with the very strong Spurs team, has a bizarre falling out with at that time one of the most stable, enviable organizations in the history of pro sports, and then does his bizarre 1 year in Toronto where he sits half the year.
I didn't know Kawhi was only 31. I thought
Yeah.
he was older.
He's aging in dog years though. And I mean, and he wins a title with Toronto.
Yeah.
Leaves to the Clippers, and he's like, probably come close to missing more games than he's played.
Yeah.
And they haven't enjoyed any playoff success. But again, it's one of those things. Like, and I'll be like, when he went to LA and LeBron went to LA, they were on par to be who's going to be the first guy to win 3 titles with 3 franchises.
Yeah.
And there was a feeling the Clippers had a better chance, like at that moment at the thing.
Even I said Kawhi
You're
was the best
that
player in the
close
NBA.
to this weird immortality, but your body of work is
I'll
so
take, Kawhi for
convoluted.
Jalen.
You'll take Kawhi for Jalen?
Yeah, I'll take it.
No.
As long as-
I would
as
say
long as
I would
he's
I'm
take
not touching him.
I would take Jalen. I would not touch Kawhi as good as he's
Yeah, I
been.
wouldn't touch him.
Because again, I like guys that show up and play.
I guess if you're saying that if you knew for sure Jalen wanted to leave and wasn't going to play with us.
I want to keep Jalen.
Yeah.
I used to be on the whole bandwagon, get him out of there, but
I would say find somebody else.
Yeah.
Not Kawhi. And I love Kawhi. I mean, shit. I mean, if he could play for damn near free, you can't count on him.
yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's huge.
can't-
Like,
Because you know if he gets knee in the thigh or something. You could be
Oh
done.
yeah, he's out for the full maximum allowed time. When they say 4 to 6 weeks, you can count on 7.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what it is, man.
It's not cool.
Yeah, man.
yeah, I don't know, man. I don't like him. I mean, I respect his ability, but I just that
So
lack
who's
of
your favorite
availability.
player
Favorite player, like
in the league?
in the league, it'd be Steph.
Oh, okay.
Just favorite player, yeah. Yeah, I like that.
And then who's the next one behind him?
That's I probably more critical of people than I because I don't know. I just look at people. Okay, well, how can we beat this guy?
Yeah.
You
You're a
know?
Giannis guy.
I like Giannis. Giannis would be there.
Giannis is
I like Giannis. I like Embiid a whole lot. I love Jaylen Brown. I like Jaylen Brown more than I like Tatum.
Yeah.
Just personally. Who else is that guy? I mean, De'Aaron Fox is climbing the charts for me.
He's gaining.
For real. Yeah. But I don't know. There's just not a lot of guys I just sort of unequivocally like. I just look at guys critically. It's just how I always look at people. It's like, okay, you do this, but you don't do that. What's the problem?
Y'all think that LeBron's gonna try to get over to the Mavericks?
To the Mavericks.
LeBron to the
Nah.
Mavericks? No, and I don't think that'll work at all.
You didn't hear about, like, supposedly they're trying to. That was the whole reason Kyrie went over there. Is eventually
They can try whatever they
they're gonna
want,
try
but
to
it's
make it
you
work.
know Mark Cuban will have about as much success as he did with DeAndre Jordan.
That's a terrible parent. No, that's just not it.
I honestly don't think LeBron would want to play for Dallas because of Cuban.
You think?
Cuban's too big.
Yeah.
And I don't think LeBron likes that.
Yeah.
No. Dallas is another team in a really shitty situation.
Yeah.
Who knows what Kyrie's going to do? They want to bring him back. The only way they're going to have a chance of bringing him back is for a max contract for the full 4 or 5 years. They have his bird rights, and what a terrible move that'll be. So they're just screwed.
Dude, I mean, like, we mentioned all these guys, and there's just problems with so many guys. Like, AD's always hurt. Kawhi doesn't play. Kyrie, like, he's the same category.
But that's only because all of those guys, you have to pay them a max contract. And the way the league is trending,
I'm just saying,
they're creating these rules.
You don't look
that
at,
mean
like,
something.
you don't look, and these are super talented guys we're talking about, and just look at them and, like, unequivocally be fantastic. That's the dude.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and it's,
That's
even
something
LeBron's
attached to
in
them.
this part of his career, and I respect his age and all he's accomplished, but he misses a ton of games, and he's, it's just so much of it's not appealing. I like Anthony Edwards a lot.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
like Anthony Edwards a lot too.
You know.
Yeah.
I just think he's in a poop situation.
Oh, for sure. That's beyond poop, man. That's like when you come back from a big night of tacos and it's just liquid, muddy water. And then you wake up and then somebody's like, "Hey, did you shit on the seat?" Not by design. Wasn't my plan.
There's nothing worse than a bad team with no flexibility. Like
Yeah,
at least Orlando has a lot of flexibility.
It's kind of like a chick with no flexibility. We're positionally limited. It's not my thing.
That's your thing, right?
Nah.
Yeah.
Bubba, you like to dive off the dresser?
Oh, back in my day, man.
Back in your day.
My knees are worse than Kawhi's. I've been icing my knee for.
When was your last dresser dive? Like pre-COVID?
Way pre-COVID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. I'm an old
Dresser
guy, man.
dive.
Cliff, how you feeling about your GM5 team?
I like my guys. I mean, do I think we have the best team on paper? No. I mean, I'd be lying if I said that.
Bubba thought you guys might get cut out of the top 10.
Maybe we will.
How many teams? There's 12 teams that he says getting in, right?
Yeah, 13 teams right now, and 12 teams make it. I think.
And 12.
Oh, so
12
only
teams
going to
make it.
cut one team.
As of right now.
Well,
but one
right,
team's
because I thought it's
the
13 right now, but it's other teams that's supposed to be getting in.
Oh, really?
And so yeah, GM5 is a local, rec league. He doesn't like that term, but it is what it is. That's just
What
it
term
is.
does he prefer?
I forgot what he said. He went through like an hour
He wants
argument.
his own
Yeah,
lane.
but it's a rec league, and so Kingsman's bringing back almost the same team.
Yeah.
Do you like the way the league is going? I told TP, I had a conversation with him. I said
To be honest with
he's
you,
entering
this
a tricky
will
spot.
sound bad. I don't.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
this is what I say, right? If you're gonna do all this, where you have teams come in, you're gonna cut them out, you're gonna do this, then it kind of people bringing back the same teams, whatever. Like basically, what you're saying is, he started his whole thing was like, I got my team from the mud. Like we're not. Then you just revamped your whole team and brought a whole bunch of people that played at different places, that played for people. I'm like, so now your whole slogan is out the window. Like you're not authentic to what you said. But then all these other teams are now, it's like, now competitive wise, what you're gonna see, I think is gonna be better. But like, you ask my team, I don't think we're gonna get blown out, but it's definitely gonna be a lot harder to win games when you're playing teams full of overseas players, possibly teams that played in the league. You know what I mean? A person that's played in the league. Like, what do you expect? You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
35 years old. My knees are bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
you're a business owner.
Yeah, I'm out here trying to have fun, and I want to, but if after a while, it's like, okay, is this fun? You know what I mean? Like, and each person, I look at all the rosters, I'm like, this is gonna end up bad at some point. Like,
Yeah.
somebody's not gonna be happy. Like, then you want people to have 10 players on the team. I seen how it acts with 8 players. So you got 10 players, and you got a team full of 10 players who could play somewhere. It ain't gonna end well.
It's not, and then because when you throw the combine
Yeah.
thing in, right, you already got a team. Most of the teams are gonna have 7 players already.
Yeah.
7 players. And then you're asking them, the combine player that you do draft in the combine, you have to draft somebody in the combine.
Yeah.
Every team has to draft
Unless you trade
one
your
person.
picks.
And and also you have to play that person a certain amount of minutes. Like
Is
that
that
person,
the
yeah.
thing?
Yes.
Is that a new rule this year?
It was a rule last year too.
No,
Right?
it wasn't.
Yeah. You
I
have
was
not.
a combine player. They never told me I had to play a certain amount of time.
That's because you played a certain amount of time.
No,
It
they
wasn't-
started me, but we never had to come.
But it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't a conversation
Well,
to
say,
have
wait,
with you.
If that's the case,
Like-
if you were starting, it was not a consideration.
But Vic on our team maybe played 5 minutes a game.
That might be the thing. You have to
Yeah.
look it up. It's a
Okay,
small number.
okay,
It's not. I'm
okay.
not saying like 15
Okay.
minutes a game or anything. But basically, they have to play. That's really
I
what
think you're
what it's
wrong,
about.
'cause I'm pretty
no,
sure
no,
he
no.
said-
I'm 100%. Or it may be a rule for this year. I'm
I
going
think it's
off
interesting
of.
because last year
Okay.
he said when you get drafted, you're gonna earn your spot. Like,
Okay. No.
Yeah.
So the rules in the rule book this year
okay,
is they have to play. And I'm pretty sure it's like 5 or 7 minutes or something. They have to play each game.
so you're right.
And so you're going
definitely
8,
rec league.
9.
You're
That's the
child's
8th,
league.
9th, 10th man on the roster.
Yeah,
First of all, they have to play, and then, like you said, it causes for that. But my main thing is about he has to pick a lane. He has to, and he's trying to toe the line. So in the beginning, it started out like you said as a rec league for guys who just want to continue playing basketball and having fun, right? And it became a competitive league that way, whether it was guys from parks or
Yeah.
guys from that.
and some teams have people.
And
that
some
play
teams
in
have,
such a
yeah,
league.
here they were littered throughout the league.
Yeah.
Not a ton of them on each team. And so you can either go the route where you can advance to an ultra competitive league where all the teams have a bunch of high level players, or you stay and you just double down in your lane, which both are good lanes, but you can't toe the line and have both of those because you know.
I agree with you that he's untenably trying to toe the line.
Yeah.
But the rec thing, I get. We're not pros or whatever, but the nature of basketball is competitive, and when you put together a league and it gets any traction at all, it's just going to be logical that the level is going to increase. Like you're going to be in a league with your team, and you're going to get to the end of the season. Well, we were 5-5 or whatever the heck the thing was. It's like, hey, if we add a couple pieces, we'll be better. And every team in the league is going to get to the offseason and be like, well, hey, if we, hey, you think we can get so-and-so to play? That's just the nature of the beast. Like, you have basketball people, they're competitive, they want to win.
But that's not what's happening. What's happening is a complete overhaul, a whole new makeup.
Well,
And-
that's
and-
where
It's
it
not
ultimately
agile.
goes.
You have the old teams.
That's where it
who-
ultimately goes.
But the thing is, the
But look,
league
for
was
example-
already competitive.
But for
though.
example, us.
like the league was already competitive.
But it's always going to drive. Competition breeds competition. Like we're the perfect example. We want to put a team in the league, and we are going to great pains trying to come up with a really competitive roster that we think can win.
only because we know we want to compete with the teams that we know are going to be in.
But that's
There's
what
squad
but
X's
that's
and-
that's what
If you
no.
knew the
But that's what
level.
I'm telling you is happening. Like however you started, if it gets any traction, the level's going to rise, and then it feeds itself. We look at if we want to compete in this league, we got to have this type of roster. I mean, we're a new team, whatever. But every team is like, hey, we need to upgrade. We need to upgrade. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
You don't know. Like in any league I've ever been in, you don't know what's there, and it's better to come with a gun and a knife and a tank than it is to just come with with a gun or just a knife.
Yeah.
Like, and that's just that's competition.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can control or funnel that, and I think a lot of their restrictive rules personally drive me insane. Like I just don't get it. What interest are we serving? You have attention, you're on the map, you have interested players that want to play, you have interested team people that want to assemble good teams. Let people do their thing.
My only thing in all of it is if you establish it. My thing is if it was more so like I bring my team, if I could change players or add players when I want. Because here's the thing, I played in multiple leagues. So even back home, like the really super competitive ones where NBA players overseas, you see your team. You know, hey, when we go to the playoffs, this may have been our team here. When we get to the playoffs, guys, we're going to add some people. We need to be able to compete. I'm not saying my team compete. We play amazing, sure, we can compete. if you're asking me all honesty, do I think we're gonna win the whole thing? No, I'm a realist. I play basketball. I play basketball with half these guys in the league. You're putting half these guys on one team. I know what that looks like. If we hit our shot, sure, we maybe could win. But realistic now, if you say, hey, we're about to go in the playoffs, guys, we should add some pieces. Some of us going to get less time. I'd probably be one of the people who get less time. Cool. But I want to compete. So at the end of the day, I don't want to come up there and get my teeth knocked in playing a team when I walk in the door knowing whatever it is. The other thing is, like, TP kind of, like, so for me, I'm looking at TP, I'm like, yo, you changed your whole team in a basically summer. You have, like, 2 repeat players. After you said you weren't dropping other people. But he did that because he's worried he's going to lose to other teams. So that's my thing. It's like
that's what. But everything that we're all saying the same thing. When you're in competition, you're gonna want to find a way to win. You're gonna change your roster if you have to.
Like, this is what I said. I was talking to somebody. I was like, if his team ends up losing majority games, the rules are gonna change. They're going to change.
Well, that right there, if you're correct, that's a statement of bad character. That's what that is.
I don't know if it's bad.
It is. It is. 100%. There's no debate over that.
Yeah.
If you're losing and you change the rules in your favor, that's bad character.
Because if it's not competitive, for me, I look at it like this. I know if I did something like this, I'm running a league, I bring a team, I put this team together, I believe it's going to be the number 1 team, and then I go 4-8, then I'm something's got to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's gonna be dope. Like, I think where he's going could be dope, but I also gotta figure out, like, are you gonna sell out now to the fact of, like, you want this to be that type of league? Because what you were last year is not this type of league, and that's more so what I'm looking at. Like, the Enforcers, they're not gonna compete with none of these teams.
The other thing I say, I mean, I've always looked at the GM5 as like it's basically trying to track like the Ace League.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the gold standard right now. And I'm not here to say that that's perfect,
Yeah.
but like if you go back to like the origins of the Ace League from my perspective, Will literally posted a list of the best basketball players in the city.
Yeah.
He did that to basically draw out controversy,
For sure.
get people interested. And his initial spin was, if you think you're better than I've got you rated, come to my combine.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get together, and then I'm gonna have 8 teams, and we're gonna draft these teams,
Yeah.
and they're gonna do that. The fact of the matter is that didn't work.
Yeah.
He had a combine. He didn't have that situation like he wanted it.
Yeah.
And he was smart enough to recognize it. And what he did the next time around, or not, I mean, before his first season, he changed it, and he got like team owners, like people like me and Juan, like the Stay Gorilla guys, and the Top Shotters guys, who are basically going to recruit our own team
And see, I'm
bring
fine
it in.
with that. That's like, if
But that's what you
this league-
have to do.
Exactly. So if that was the league, if that's how the league ran, that's, to me, no quorums. But you're setting this up to come with a team, and then some of these teams, that there's a history there, so you know they're gonna, like, I love Dennis, I love Vic, but like Vic shouldn't be playing on the court with anybody in there. Like, that's my guy. He's gonna hustle. He doesn't complain. Like, I'll take him because he does a lot of stuff that nobody wants to do. But if you're asking me, we walk into the gym, we're gonna play, Vic is not gonna be the guy that's picked in the first 20 people.
Yeah.
50 people out of all the people in GM5. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so what are you asking yourself? Do you want to stay true to this, or you go to a B and A league type deal? You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. I'm just looking at the overall of, like, when I came in, cool. You come here, no pedigrees, no names, no now it's like, well, everybody got stuff. Yeah, everybody got all this stuff now.
Yeah. You have to just let things grow into what they are.
Yeah.
And to their credit, it's grown.
And I'm happy for him, but I also look like, bro, you're gonna have to figure something out.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I'm saying.
Because it's like you have people who are loyal to what you started, and now what you're creating is a little bit different.
It's
and
a
then,
lot different.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you want to keep the same thing with a combine. I think there's ways to still do that while keeping a structure of, hey, we got people that are bringing their own team. We're going to host a combine. They may pick you, they may not. Right. You need to know it. You're not guaranteed to get picked, but there's going to be 12 teams, and you can say you have to bring 8 of your guys, whoever. What, like,
whatever the case.
Yeah. And then when it's finalized, you have to have a 10 roster, whatever. If you choose people to combine, not, or you choose another 2 outside of your whatever. You know what I mean? That type of ordeal.
Yeah.
That's just my only thing with it. It was like, to me, I'm like, you know, this is a little, we'll see how it goes type of deal.
Yeah.
All right, then. You guys have been on the bench. That's this week. We'll be back next week.